things. We'll talk about it when we get in. I'm going to hit play earlier than I normally do. So we're not like, is it on? Is it on?
Okay.
We'll see.
Are you a fan of Star Wars? Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? What about beer?
Well,
If so,
all
this
things.
may
We'll talk
be the
about it.
podcast for you. Brick.
I'm going to hit play earlier than I normally do.
Well,
So
we
we're
are
not like,
cutting
is
an
it on?
introduction for our podcast. Do you think we should maybe crack a beer first?
I shouldn't.
Do it. Welcome to episode 46 of Galaxy of Beers, hosted by me and Brick Hardmeat. On today's episode, we drink some Maine beers from Cantina de Biro. We share our boasts, and beers. We dive into our last round of Grand Arena Championship, and we review the Clone Wars Season 4 with none other than fan favorite guest star Battle Frontline. Let's jump into the Cantina.
Yo. What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's up?
How you doing, BFL? Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
We had one episode by ourselves, and we're like, we need to have people on again.
The man, the myth, the legend, the BFL.
I want to see lots of light color changes on your ceiling. So you get those little switches, turn it red. Depends on, what episode we talk about today.
Yeah, I like that.
Or, when we get into like the deeper parts of season 4 of Clone Wars, turn it to the dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind of cool.
I like it. I like where your head's at.
Let's crack some beers open. What do you think?
Let's do it. I guess that's what we're here to
All
do.
right. That's right. So one of our good buddies on the Galaxy of Beeros Discord sent us some beer that we can't get here. I looked it up
Allegedly.
on Tap. We can't get it here. I looked everywhere.
No.
They don't.
Allegedly, he sent it to us because we wouldn't
Right.
want to, encourage
Gotcha.
shipping
Yes.
of
Yep.
alcohol.
I wasn't with you for a second. I'm with you. Don't ship alcohol. It's not legal.
Were you pre-drinking? Were you pre-gaming?
These arrived at our house. I don't know how they got here.
Okay.
Thank you to whoever it was who got them here. We're
Little-
not releasing his address or his
a
information.
beer fairy, if you will.
A beer fairy. Yep. So this is by Mast Landing Brewing Company out of Maine. This one is called Gunner's Daughter Milk Stout. We don't do a lot of stouts on the show, but I personally love stouts. I don't know why I don't bring more of these on, but I always gravitate towards IPA, so I'm very excited for something quite a bit different. Let's crack her open.
Let's do it. Thank you, Biro.
Oh, great aroma.
Fantastic. Smell nutmeg.
Smell like peanut butter.
I made that up. Ooh.
Oh shit! Yes,
Not mad about that. If this is poison, it's delicious poison.
this is great stuff. I did tell Byro that I was not going to lie about the beer. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell him I love this beer.
Yeah, that's tasty,
I'm
man.
gonna take a couple more swigs before I give it a rating, though.
I taste nuts. I've got some nuts.
So this one is a milk stout. It is 5.5%. It's a beautifully aromatic and balanced milk stout with delicious notes of peanut butter. Caught that. Coffee. Caught that. Dark chocolate. Yeah, that's probably there too. This dark mythical beer nods to the long past legends of our region's seafarers. Mast Landing was founded in 2015. They showcase beers all over the area, internationally too. And they have a tasting room in Westbrook, Maine. They focus on high quality beers while also using independence and socially conscious mindset to support our local community and industry. Their goal is to make sure that Mast Landing beer that you drink is amazing, whether you're visiting them in the tasting room or enjoying a pour at your favorite bar or restaurant with family and friends.
That's a good one, man. I'll I'll go 5-star with some Omegas on that bad boy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 6.
Ooh,
Give this one a 6. Yeah, no, this is really good.
look at you.
It's very complex. There's a lot to it. It's not just like it's a stout. There's like a lot of different layers to it. I like it a lot.
We may need to go to Maine. Put that on the bucket list
I would love to go
for
to Maine.
podcast tour. These Galaxy of
Beer.
Beeros
Beer trip, Bureau's trip.
beer tour.
Well,
Once
we
this
gotta
COVID shit's over,
Pennsylvania. Well, we're gonna skip over Ohio. We're gonna just go.
we're gonna go to Iowa. We're gonna go to
Woo!
yeah!
Howard Dean, deep cut.
Dude, I love it because the Operation Metaverse podcast the live stream, Galaxy's Edge with T-Money G and our good buddy, good old Maurice. They always say "yeah" on that, and I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I picked up on the reference, and I think I won some brownie points for that. But a great story.
Later
That's what we're
on,
going to talk about.
when we finish these beers, I have some DOM beers, some Dom Brewing beers.
Yeah, stuff you made, man. I'm looking forward to
first batches of the summer. So we're gonna be doing a taste of those later on, which there's not much left, to be honest. So I hope there's enough for me to have a pint of each while we're at that point. So BFL, what are you drinking tonight?
Air, because I was unprepared.
Oh no!
You'll have to get hydrated, man. I'm worried about your hydration levels.
Get you some water at least. Man, I don't have my koozie.
Yeah, what are you thinking? By the way, we have Galaxy of Beeros koozies. In case you haven't heard, we now provide these to anyone. Oh, look at BFL. He's got one.
I got mine.
Yeah, nice.
We provide these to
BFL,
our Patreon subscribers. So if you do want to help the show out, that would be great. And you get a koozie for it. Any level of support, you get a koozie, and you get even personalized with your own name on it. Whatever stupid name you want to use, whatever good name. This has my dumb name. A Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference is immortalized on a beer koozie now. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, you can get whatever you want on there within reason.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Use your discretion. So let's get into some beers. We're drinking beers. We got to figure out who's got some boosts and some boasts. What's the deal?
Right.
BFL, you look prepared. You go.
I'm prepared. In fact, I have stuck BB-8 in the
nice.
cozy, so now he's
perfect.
nice and cozy while I go into my
Yeah.
boasts and such.
I think
So.
because the BB stands for boost and boast, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what the creators meant.
All right. So for my boosts, I finally unlocked Hoth Han in preparation
Nice.
of Jedi
Captain
Knight
Han?
Luke. Yep.
Cappy.
Yep. I finally threw the Zeta on Hermit Yoda for his second special. I still don't have it on his unique and don't plan on doing that anytime soon.
Yeah. What is it? The do or do not is like kind of worthless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because that one's if a character dies, all the cooldowns reset, which that's helpful, but there's other characters that need it.
Yeah.
I got Watt to gear 10 now,
Nice.
so a little bit more speed, a little bit more health.
Nice.
Got Vader to gear 12 and
nice.
gave the Zeta to his new ability,
Yes.
which I'm loving.
Merciless Massacre.
That helped me so much on the Places of Power event.
Yes.
So much.
We'll get to that.
And then my favorite boast, I threw R7 on B1. I finally got
nice.
B1 to R7.
not
Very
messing
happy
around.
about that. Yes.
And you want to tell the listeners why you had to go and do that?
So it's time for my woes. So when gas came around, what was it? 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks?
I think more than that.
About 3 to 4. Yeah.
All right. So I was prepared. I had everyone at gear 12. I had B1 at R5. Everyone else was gear 12. Except for Asajj. I think I got her to just gear 13. I was ready for the event. I tried to get my mods all organized. I went through it the first day. No luck. I got close maybe once. And then I started talking with you, Brick. Did some mod redoing for the second day. Brought everyone else up a little bit more. Did a little bit of more gearing, trying to get the bonus stats from the Gear 12 pieces and all that onto the other droids. I didn't want to, but I did. No such progress. At this point, I stayed up till about 2 a.m. that morning trying the event. Nothing happened. So on the third and final day, after mercilessly just trying and trying and trying, with 1 hour left into the event, I saw a pack in the store that gave me the piece I really, really needed to try and make the event possible, because the two most recommended tunes to get relic is B1 and Droidica. I didn't have my Droidica relic. I needed one more piece. I saw it in a pack. Spent the $20. Biggest regret of my life right there. Instantly got him up to relic 3. I spent the next hour until the game kicked me out trying to unlock gas. Did not happen.
That's the worst.
I had saved up so many stun guns, so many Carbantes. So I saved up all the Zetas, everything. I was so prepared.
Oh, man.
And it just didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Those lows really get you. It's like, do I really need to keep doing this? Yes. I mean, the answer is yes.
Yes. I wasn't happy. I woke up the next morning. I was just like, I really had to spend the $20 on this. I mean, it was a gift card, so like I wasn't going to use it for anything else really.
I wish we had the Tiger King meme prepared. I will never financially recover from this. Prepared.
Yep.
Nah, that sucks, man. I feel for you. That would really grind my gears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to over prepare then.
Yeah, and that's what kind of led me into dumping all the gear into everyone else this past week or two. Because
Treat yourself.
Yeah,
you still got a relic Droidica now, right? You got a relic B1 R7 B1. That's gonna wreck shit. So it's not a waste.
Yeah, I brought everyone up to Gear 13 except for Magna.
Get that Zeta.
I'm always asking for financial support. Got to get through that college. So yeah, that was a huge letdown, but allowed me to start putting some of the gear into Vader and all the other characters in preparation for trying to get Jedi Knight Luke next time. So fingers crossed, next time I'll get Gas and Jedi Luke almost back to back, depending on when how they space out the
would be
events.
Killer.
It would be killer. It's going to be a lot of grinding and a lot of storing, but I think it's possible.
Yeah. Do you have all the characters ready for that besides like gear?
Everyone's at 7-star except for Han. So right now it's just a gear game. Right now Wampa and 3PO are a little bit of a holdback, because Wampa needs stun guns. Yeah. And I'm working on 3PO right now because he's in my Padme squad. But I need some raid gear that I haven't managed to pull yet, so I'm waiting for that. And then that will get him to Gear 13, then I'll just relic him to level 3 and be done with it.
Sweet.
Nice.
And then should we move on to my JAC?
We'll do GAC kind of all together. Let's do our
let's do maybe starting out the hard meat. We'll do a round robin of GAC. I like that format.
Yeah. All right, sounds good.
Sounds good.
How about you, DD? How's your
all right?
What were you boosting and beering?
I did quite a bit. So after we talked last episode on the Jedi Knight Luke stuff, I went kind of crazy on that. I totally abandoned my Rey character farm. I'm like, who gives a shit at this point? I'm so far off. And I focused more of my gear attention on getting characters up that are going to be for that. So I got Vader from Gear 12 to Relic 3, put the new Zeta on, and that new Zeta is pretty dope. I love it so far.
Yeah.
I still have some mod work to do on that character so that he can be very effective against Geos. I did a couple runs with him in like Grand Arena Championships, and it was like kind of dicey. I really just rely on my droid squad to take care of the geos, but I want that team to do it so that I can save the droids for a Padme team or something, you know.
Let's we'll touch on the Vader kit in the hard meat as well.
Yeah, yep. I took CLS from Gear 12 to Relic 4.
Ooh, nice.
Updated some mods with him too.
Very nice.
Now I'm working on the last slot for Gear 12 Hermit Yoda. So I'm pushing those ones pretty hard. Still working on clones. Got my Rex up to Gear 12.
Nice.
About 10 minutes ago, I 7-starred the Umbaran Starfighter. So the only ship that I have to finish off is at a 2, and that's going to be fine. I'm like 28 out of 100 on that now. So I don't have the power requirements met yet for all the ships, but it's just a matter of modding properly, I think, and that shouldn't be too hard. So
Nice.
On my alts, I had 2 big boosts. I unlocked Grandmaster Yoda. I realized it had some Jedi sitting around that I hadn't even like activated yet, and I didn't gear them up because I basically just used like Ahsoka, Anakin, and Kenobi to do the work, and then just had the other 2 slots filled with like bullshit level 1 Jedi, and that took care of getting me up to a 5-star Yoda, and then I Gear 12 Padme.
Nice. I'm proud of you, Darkin.
Yep.
Not bad.
Pretty
Not bad at all.
Brick.
All right. So I did a few things. Oh, that's my sound. Here we go. All right. So what I did is I relicked a few important characters. I relicked Echo and Fives, got them up to R3 at this point, which was sweet. I was glad to do that. Still working on Arc. That's my primary focus right now. My primary focus is General Skywalker, getting that clone squad and General Skywalker's gear up. So all I have left, everybody's gear 13 except for Arc and Gas, of course, because he's only 5-star. But I was excited to get them relicked, and Echo hits like a truck, man. I'm using that team. I didn't realize he did so much damage. I don't even understand why he does so much damage, to be honest.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Just, like in the Sith raid, he's just like, oh, 50K. I'm like, what? Echo, man, I thought you were useless, but you're doing pretty good. I Zetaed to put on Vader's touch up, quote unquote. If you're listening, I used air quotes. His touch up, I dropped the Zeta on the Merciless Massacre, and then I also put a Zeta on Watt as well, because I've been using Watt a lot. Watt is just awesome. Watt is so
Watt
cool.
is fantastic.
Great.
Oh man, so diverse, so just he can slot in anywhere. Oh yeah, and he does so many different things.
I got to tell you what I'm using him for in Grand Arena when we get to it.
Yes.
Oh,
I think it might be a team you want to put on defense.
Sweet. My cat is attacking the light source that I use for the podcast, so we'll see what happens there.
It's gonna like fall over. Take your green screen down.
These fucking cats have been on a rampage to destroy all my podcasting equipment, apparently, and then knocked over the computer. Had to replace the hard drive because of them. And anyway, so another big thing I did was, I'm always trying to be active with my farms and try to be cognizant of what I'm doing. It's easy to get lost with your farming strategies in this game. There's so much to farm. There's so many characters.
Totally.
So my primary focus is General Skywalker, gearing up him in the clones, which I'm going all in on. That's all I'm doing. But after that, there's been a lot of stuff released. There's been, with Jedi Knight Luke, there's just a lot of different directions you can go. And now I'm approaching, I'm going to be in Division 2, like in the next few days. Like I've reached the point of no return. So I honestly don't care. Like I'm kind of excited. I've been doing really good in Division 3, and I think it's time to go to Division 2. I ain't scared. I'm excited.
It's still based off of your top 60,
Yeah.
So you're still going to get matchups that you can probably handle.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not worried about it. I think I don't really know of a ton of a ton of players that are in Division 2. I can't imagine it's a very large division, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, so I'm thinking about getting into that division, like what I need to do to kind of get my roster prepared. So the last 2 weeks since we've done the podcast, I've like favorited and unfavorited so many different characters, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to best allocate my resources, who I'm going to grind. And I was going back and forth. I, at one point, considered not going back and getting Jedi Knight Revan so I could get Malik, because I have a R5 Darth Revan, and no supporting cast, virtually no supporting cast. A Gear 12 Fallen Bastila, a Gear 10 GK. That's it. So I really need to get Malik. That's really important. So I even thought, like, maybe if I can just skip that grind, because I don't have mission or T3. At the time, I barely had them. I don't even think I have T3. No, I do have T3 unlocked, just barely unlocked. But they're both Cantina farms. Yeah, they're both Cantina farms. So it's like that alone is going to take a really long time. So,
oh yeah,
going back and forth, and then I actually went on our buddies the Gambit podcast. I went on to their Discord server and asked for advice, and somebody on there, Dr. What was his name? Dr. Jojo, I think. Very helpful, and I kind of laid it out there what I was considering doing, and he was very helpful, letting me know what his thoughts were, kind of reviewing my roster. Actually asked for my .gg page. So if you don't belong to the Gambit podcast Discord, definitely check it out. A lot of helpful, strong GAC players in there, willing to help you and give you advice, no matter how dumb your question is. So, but yeah, so I was considering, like, okay, do I skip Malik and then just, because I have a lot of characters that I think are fundamental, important characters in the game, like such as the Sith trio. I need to have I need to have Gear 12 Sith trio. I just need to.
Yep.
Nihilus is only 5-star. Like, I have to have those characters. They're very important. My bounty hunters aren't fully Gear 12 yet. My R2, my Chewie, none of them are Gear 12 yet. So, like, I have really, like, important fundamental characters that I need to get to Gear 12 at least. So my plan, I get long-winded with these things, is I'm going to, once I finish gas, I'm going to then Gear 12 a bunch of those miscellaneous characters I just mentioned, and then I'm going to go full on Jedi Knight Revan unlock mode. I'm already farming mission, trying to do as many 3 refreshes if I can afford it for Cantina Energy, trying to just bang that grind out so that I can get to T3 and get that bottleneck out of there.
You also have a pretty good setup too, because you can make a good Old Republic team, Karth team, which I don't have because I don't have that side. So, like, those characters aren't going to be useless for you.
Yeah, I definitely would throw them on defense and GAC. That would be great. I think that could, because I do oftentimes find myself missing like a good, like, C squad, like, I don't want to throw Phoenix on defense or something at this point, but couldn't hurt.
And like, the two of them, Mission and Zalbar, work well with Watt too, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's because
they could.
He'll give the tank tech to Zalbar, and it's just a mess after that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So lots of options.
Yeah, and then of course Malik. I mean, that's the end goal, is to get him, and then after that, then I'm gonna go all in on Galactic Legend Kylo. I'm not going to go for Jedi Knight Luke. I've done the math, and I actually created a get one. What did I call it? I had a fancy name for it. Very fancy. The get one planner is a spreadsheet that I created to kind of break down how you accrue get one, what you're kind of looking at, what I'm looking at based on our territory battle history, territory wars, and heroic Sith outcomes. So I'll get into that in the hard meat, and if anybody wants to see that, I can pull that up for you guys. I can try sharing my
available exclusively to Our Discord members.
That's right. Exactly. So if people want it, I will put it on our Discord happily. I still might tweak some things, and totally open to suggestion, but I'll show that later. The last thing I did, I was on the Gambit podcast / live stream last Friday, which was a lot of fun. They had me on to stream my GAC attacks, which was a lot of fun. We did have some technical issues, but we got through it. Solo's internet actually didn't just go out. His internet provider decided that they needed to do maintenance at midnight, right when we were recording. Like literally like 4 minutes into the stream was just like, bloop.
Let me guess. AT&T? Let me guess.
No, I think it was, I can't remember, Comcast or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was crazy. So it ended up, we ended up getting to all do our attacks. It made for a late night, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate them having me on. I did okay on there. We'll talk about it in the hard meet, but
sure.
Ended up getting a full clear and getting the win. So that was good. And kind of cool
pressure to like be streaming your stuff, in front of all their crowd,
It was hard. Yeah. I mean, especially like I found myself asking them a lot of questions because like they are legitimate GAC experts and I don't consider
totally. Yeah.
These are the Jedi Masters. I am a Padawan learner by all accounts.
Could you imagine me on there trying to do mine with them watching me?
I know.
At least you know what you're doing.
I kind of know what I'm doing. But there's just, they do things a little differently. And I'll be completely honest, a lot of the times when I'm attacking, it's not that I'm button mashing, but I don't exactly know why I'm selecting certain attacks sometimes,
yeah,
I don't know for sure. And like when you're streaming something, you kind of feel a responsibility to explain what you're doing or justify your actions. So I just found myself second guessing myself a lot. And Zareth was kind of like, not in a subtle way, I guess in a subtle way, was just kind of like, yeah, get this thing going. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to stop asking you guys. Cause like, it was just stupid. Like I was just asking for like dumb help, just like minor things. So, but then I started getting into the zone and getting into a rhythm and it was a lot better that way. But they also, they had just recorded on the, or done an interview with the Escape podcast prior to that live stream. And they actually shouted us out, which was cool. They gave us a shout out. Solo was using our koozie and he recommended that people watch the stream because I was going to be on it. That I was doing my GAC fight. So they're doing some cool stuff too. The Escape podcast, they created this thing called GA Center, which is essentially like the idea is it's supposed to be like Sports Center, but for Grand Arena Championships for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So they're doing like weekly, they have like a tournament style kind of like different groups for different divisions. They found over 60 content creators for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes all across a bunch of different divisions that they've paired up against one another. And it's a pretty cool thing. I've tuned into a couple of them. I really like the idea, bringing content creators together, featuring these content creators, because there's a lot of great people in this community that really put in some hard work. They go out of their way to try and be informative and help the community. Whereas, some of the loudest,
a lot of unique stuff out there too. It's not just like the same, I'm going to be this character on a YouTube video,
well, that's just it. The loudest voices I feel like in the community are really not benefiting the community at all. They're just kind of shit talking the game unnecessarily. And, they're looking more for clicks and for personal reasons and personal gain, really not thinking about the community. And at the heart of this, the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community is awesome. There's so many great people in it. We've met so many cool people doing the podcast and
absolutely,
people that have joined our Discord server and met on other Discord servers, like really cool community, best community I've ever been a part of in any game I've ever played. So I think it's great that they're featuring, content creators that actually give a shit and are giving back to the game. So I really appreciate what they're doing, and I like the idea behind it, and love to be a part of it. And actually, Darkit and I have thought about streaming RGAC fights on Twitch.
Yep.
So
yeah,
we may be doing that
trying
more.
to learn the ins and outs of the Twitch. So
yeah, we're a couple YouTube dads trying to dip our toes into the water with Twitch, but seems pretty cool. Like seems like a pretty fun medium. Seems more interactive and from what I understand,
it took us about 9 months to get on YouTube. So I would say maybe by like May of next year we'll have Twitch running.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But it seems, I guess their algorithm as well seems a little more advantageous for podcasters or people that are, smaller than us. I mean, YouTube seems to be like very like, oh, if you type in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, instantly you're going to one of the big three. And it's like, okay, there's a lot of really great content creators out there that aren't being featured. So hopefully, if we do go over to Twitch, we can reach some more people and connect with people better. So
does the Escape Pod want a Division 11 player?
They might. I think they're looking for all divisions. 200
right now.
I know they have at least 8. They have Division 8 people in there. I know that, but I don't know how that works as far as getting into the pool or whatever. But I like the idea of it. I think it's pretty cool. I like kind of their podcast is a different kind of thing than what we're doing, and I appreciate it. That's what I like about it. It's like cool. There's so many different podcasts, so many different formats for this game, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Go figure. Brick went long on his Boost, Boast, and Beer segment. Who could have predicted that? Well, you guys getting hungry for some
I'm
meat?
Starving.
That's hard. Do you guys like hard meat?
I could use some very hard meat.
Do you want soft meat or
hard meat music?
Okay.
Hard.
Belabored the point. All right. So we actually have some news. This is fucking nuts. We got a lot of news. It's been 2 weeks since we've recorded. So there's been a lot of things that have gone down. What do you guys want to start with? What sounds good? Or if you're in chat, shout it out. What do you want us to talk about first? We're going to wait till somebody says something in chat. No, I'm just kidding.
Play the elevator music until somebody speaks up.
Anyone?
I think the Jedi Knight Luke stuff is like the oldest news.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Last episode we talked about, the kits and, what it's going to do and whatnot. And I was kind of hesitant on knowing if I wanted to go this route or not. I had some of the characters, but I was like, well, what is it really going to do? It's not like a galactic legend. It's, just a legendary character. Is it going to do anything decent in territory battles? Is it going to help my GAC? And for the one person who was able to get it in our guild, he said it's basically it's really worth it. So we got one member who's kind of at the top of our guild, Bonky Head. He kind of went through the entire event, got his Jedi Knight Luke, and he said that it is by far the best event that CG has produced to date.
Nice.
As far as like storyline, battle stuff, sequence.
I watched Operation Metaverse. They did a live stream of good old Maurice unlocking it live on air. It was so cool to watch. Like watching him work through it. He has amazing mods and he was adequately geared for the event. Like he wasn't overly geared for it, but that was a really, really cool video that they posted of their stream. And if you haven't seen the event, super cool. Like I felt engaged while I was watching it. Like I was like fist pumping, like in my basement watching, like as he beat different tiers just the execution of the event was super cool. And if you're a fan of the original trilogy, and who isn't, it was fantastic. So really cool event. Definitely in contrast to the Galactic Legend event, blew it out of the water. I mean, it was incredible. So they really knocked it out of the park with that.
Bonky sent me a couple notes too that I wanted to share. I was trying to get him on this episode too to share through it, but he's busy at this point in the day. So he said that the phases of the event were vastly different from each other in terms of gameplay. Very true to the Empire Strikes Back storyline. It had the right amount of challenge without making a person spend hours upon hours banging their head on a particular phase like gas, like the Galactic Legend ones.
Yeah.
he told me too that like mods were key. He said go just baseline relic 3 minimum levels and then adjust mods as you go if you need to. And that pretty much did it. He said that it's a awesome character for territory battles, especially under Jedi Knight Revan lead. He used him with Jolie, Grandmaster Yoda, Hermit Yoda, and he only had him at gear 9 at the time and 4 out of 4 easily. So,
whoa, that's rad.
Yeah. So that's what pushes me to want to do it. Is like, okay, my Jedi, I'm gonna be gearing them up, but they don't do jack shit for me in territory battles.
Yeah.
And if I can get a character, one single character, they can get me those phase clears. Hell yeah.
And shout out to,
like we said on the last episode too, there's not the characters that you're like having to build. There's really only a couple that are kind of throwaway characters. Like a Wampa's going to do you good.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a couple duds.
Even having like Captain Han and Lando are going to give you a good secondary team.
Yeah. You can do something with that.
You clean up squad or whatever. So it's not complete trash like, you know, a Rose Tico or something like that. So
real quick, shout out to Biscuit 3264 in chat. We'll do the
Biscuit.
Vader rework next. So, and of course, the Spice Den, our homeboy, he's in the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
All right.
Go ahead, BFL. What are you gonna say?
I just wanted to say, so initially when the Jedi Knight Luke event was announced, there was a lot of controversy over the fact that it was requiring Empire Strikes Back characters and that this wasn't going to be a Return to the Jedi type of event. Do we feel that the quality event kind of makes it worth overlooking that?
I think that they opened the door a little bit. I've heard people say that there still could be a Galactic Legend Luke. Like this is like early Return to the Jedi, like Jabba's palace Luke. You know, so I don't necessarily care that if it's necessary, like if it's, you know, entirely predicated or directly supposed to be from a particular movie. I don't know. I'd like another Luke. I love a Jedi Knight Luke. I'm not really hurt about it. I don't know. I guess I don't have a strong feeling about it.
I'll take a vet Luke, to be honest. He can drink that milk and
oh, that's got to be coming too, man. Yeah, that's absolutely. That'd be rad. He's going to be like a C-3PO. He doesn't actually fight.
Yeah, I think a Galactic Legend Luke probably will be sequel Luke. I would think, you know.
Yeah, probably.
I can see that.
Yeah, it would be a little redundant to. No, this was before he fought Vader, Luke. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I thought it was a very cool event to watch. And I think
I didn't watch any of it
much...
because I want to experience it for myself when I get to it. You know.
I limited my exposure to it as well.
Well, I am so not getting this character anytime soon that I totally blew it and I'll get to that later when I would go through my my get one planner. But it was very cool to watch, and I haven't heard a whole lot of negative talk about it, though. I haven't listened to the most negative people in the community, the loudest voices. So, but the ones I trust and respect have said that it's a very cool event, and the character seems to be pretty awesome. We don't know. I mean, the one thing that a lot of people, I don't think, fully thought through. Like, I've heard people say that Cam sucks, like Ki-Adi-Mundi sucks, but we don't really know that he sucks. Nobody has a 7-star one, or very few people do. So until he's relicked, we don't know what he's going to do. He is a Jedi. He is going to synergize with Jedi Knight Luke. So that's also looming. But even without, regardless of Cam, he's already doing work in a lot of different, game modes in PvP, in PvE. So it's not. We don't know the full gambit, if you will, of kind of like what his capabilities are and how he plugs in. And there's so much theory crafting yet to be done. So anybody that was saying, "Oh, this sucks. This isn't worth the requirements. This is garbage. This was supposed to be Mace. They just slapped Luke's name on it." Whatever. It's haters gonna hate, I guess.
I don't think they were ever going to put out a second Mace, though. Were they? Come on. It doesn't really make sense for the game.
I don't know. It's just some theory somebody had.
Yeah, I like the idea of a mace rework, but I don't think they were intending on doing this as a completely new mace with Luke slapped on it.
Yeah, I don't either. So yeah, Jedi Knight Luke, did you guys have anything else you wanted to touch on with that?
I'm just gearing in order of characters that I love first, and then saving the ones that I don't care about till last. So order of importance for me was, getting Vader up. I'm really excited to get a relic Hermit Yoda, to be honest. That'll be cool.
Oh, yeah.
For my hat team, So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part too. Like when you are working on one of those characters.
Yeah.
But in arena, it doesn't. In my arena shard, it doesn't make a difference because every Darth Revan's faster. There's not really a whole lot of things you can test it out on, but
right.
Anything else you guys want to touch on?
I'm just excited for Vader. Be cool.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
too.
I'm just sad I was an idiot and joined GAC before I applied the upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Dang it.
Because that would have really helped me a lot in
Heck yeah.
my GAC in my third round, but we'll go into that in a minute here.
Well, this new round, I didn't have. I was still. Our last round, I had still Gear 12 CLS and Gear 12 Vader. So now I have Relic 4 CLS and Relic 3 Vader. So
nice.
That'll be a nice advantage this time around.
Heck yeah, dude! Your rebels are gonna hit like a Mack truck.
Mm-hmm.
You already have a Relic Ton and Chewie. I mean,
I just use the 3 of them anymore. I don't even need to pull anybody else in.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, especially now with Relic CLS. Shit, dude, you probably getting
because. I used to try to pull like Wedge and Biggs sometimes, and then that would screw it up because then Wedge would be guarded. And that's not what I want. I want CLS guarded, you know. So
that's the key, man.
It almost takes away a little bit from the team for adding them in, so it's not worth it.
Right. So probably the biggest news is we got the road ahead finally.
Woo! Yeah. What a road ahead.
Oh yeah, it's so long. It took hours to read it and understand it.
Spice Sun was the first one to be like, hey, road ahead's here. And I was like, sweet. I was like in the middle of brewing, I think. I stopped everything I was doing. I was like, all right. 3 seconds later, I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. That's all there is.
Yeah, it wasn't a big one.
Nope, sure wasn't.
So essentially what they did is does somebody else want to read it? I feel like I've been talking this whole time. If there was a pie chart for the amount of speaking on this podcast, I'd have the biggest fucking slice. You guys would be like two little baby slices, 2 little pieces of like cheesecake.
Someone crunch the numbers. We need to know.
I'm okay with it. Okay. This road ahead is different than other road aheads, I will say, in terms of structure, because usually we get a lot of information about many things.
Yes.
From like server side stuff to how they're dealing with sometimes issues with cheating. They want to bring that kind of stuff up. But this one was very concise and just covered one thing. It was really just like announcing a new game mode, and that was pretty much it. So that was kind of like disappointing to see that there wasn't more information out there. I guess we have to rely on Q&A now to get the other stuff, the more like detailed things. But basically what they did is they announced a new game mode called Galactic Challenges. Galactic Challenges is a new type of event that will feature some interesting combat puzzles, which I'm like, that's not really why I got into this game for puzzles, but they will feature a rotation of different enemy factions that will allow you to test out different parts of your collection, which is kind of interesting because a lot of us use our top 6 squads and that's about it.
Yep.
What makes this new mode interesting is a twist from other forms of combat is the introduction of randomly selected combat modifiers to constantly change up the puzzle. These modifiers can come in 3 different forms: environmental, enemy, and player.
It kind of reminds me of Territory Wars, the old the setup where they used to tweak them a little bit to give certain factions bonuses or I guess, debuffs too, technically. But
now we didn't get any information about these 3 forms, right?
No,
not really. They one thing they did elaborate on in the Galaxy or the the Galactic War Report podcast when Crum was on there. One thing he did elaborate on Shit, I just had it in my mind. What did he elaborate on? Go ahead, I'll think of it. I'm sorry.
The one that I think is the interesting form is the environmental modifier, personally, because depending on like the planet that you're on, you can get different things applied to your characters and enemy possibly that makes them different than what you would expect. So if you're battling on Hoth, you would get a modifier like Frostbite that makes all your units more vulnerable, which is interesting because like that's something that a lot of games have. Like when you go to different areas, the way that your characters interact and work is affected by where they are. So it's a cool thing to bring into this. And it's not something like I don't play a lot of games like this besides this one. But I've never seen one in a kind of format like this, you know?
Yeah.
More open world does that kind of stuff all the time, but like not in like a, you know, role playing.
I remember what it was. He mentioned that they've been talking about for a long time developing tools that will allow them to make content more quickly. And that's been a big area of focus for them. And they've talked about it in previous posts and in Q&As, talking about how, you know, creating a better infrastructure for the game so that they can create stuff more quickly and for a long time to keep the health of the game. I found that really interesting that they're actually doing that. If this is like the first piece of that, I'm cool with this road ahead, you know, because this could ultimately mean that we're going to get some stuff more quickly, for better or worse. But I found that encouraging as an aside from what was, you know, directly text in the road ahead, this road ahead.
Yeah. Because I remember when they posted that initial announcement, like, hey, the road ahead is going to be postponed because we're working on developing new tools for the game. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll accept that as long as you guys are actually doing it. Because as an engineering student, I've had to do a little bit of coding. So I understand it's a nightmare when you try and do one thing, especially if you mess something up or it conflicts with another file. Good luck finding the issue.
Right.
So I understand why they're like, hey, we're really working on this. And that's why we're seeing a lack of content. Because it's going to take time. But once they get the ball rolling and they do it correctly, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think this game mode has promise. Do you want to read a little more, anybody, about the like daily activities?
Yeah, there's not a ton in the middle section, the challenge stuff. It's like there's going to be different difficulty levels depending on where you are in the game. So like early players can it'll scale. There'll be feats probably involved to make it a little more complex. But the thing that's going to affect like how you play from day to day is like you can't get to the galactic challenges. It seems like until you finish your whole daily activities.
Yeah,
that kind of seems like what's being thrown out there. Also, can you please finish your 600 before you get Galactic challenges?
Yes.
That should be like a gatekeeper, so I don't have to chase you down for your tickets every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that is more content for everybody. If everybody got their 600 tickets every single day, we could launch more raids. We could do more shit. We could get more rewards.
You get more stuff in your Galactic challenges.
Yes, personally, you would get more stuff from Galactic challenges, which is another feature of this game mode. This is an independent game mode. This is not... excuse me, I just burped mid sentence. This is not a a collaborative event. So this is based on your specific roster, and it's a solo activity.
Also, with the, if you did it like that, where like you don't get it until 600, you're also like enabling some monetization too, because if people like are struggling to get their 600, they got to buy crystals. Yeah. Or they have to get their squad up so they can get crystals. So like really you're pushing a monetization mechanism in the game that you didn't have before. Exactly. And I think that it's just kind of smart to do, you know?
It's an incentive. Yep.
And
I think it doesn't have a downside, you know?
No.
I mean, at least for me personally, because Darkit and Brick, as you guys know, as you guys are the officers in the guild.
Well, not Brick anymore. He stepped down.
Oh, you stepped down?
Yeah, I'm not an officer anymore.
Oh yeah, duh.
It's all good.
So anyways, as you know, I'm usually getting my tickets in 10 to 30 minutes before at most.
Minutes.
Minutes.
Seconds.
Wait, which I gotta talk with you about my tickets, but we'll do that later.
No worries.
You can then you can do the event at 6:59.
Yeah, so I can really say
tickets are
that
set.
that's a great incentive for me because
You don't want to miss out on those rewards. Come
yeah,
on.
I don't want to miss out on those rewards. I can't tell you how many times like I'll rush to do the tickets and then I'll forget about the game. And then right before I go to bed, I'm like, you know what, crap, I forgot to do my 2 squad arena battles, and I really want the cryotechs.
Exactly.
It's that much more of an incentive, and I really hope CG goes that route of really encouraging you to do these challenges and make it worth our while, not just, oh, here's a fun activity that's kind of like a sandbox kind of deal.
Yeah. This I've heard that as well. This is somewhat of a sandbox mode for a testing ground for characters. And that's another thing Crumb said too, is that they're designing it with the idea that it's not like a locked in thing like a raid where if you use a squad, they're done. You can't use them again.
Mm-hmm.
They're not locked for this galactic what do they call it? Galactic challenge.
Yeah.
So it is somewhat of a sandbox mode, which is interesting. And then another thing too, I found this to be interesting. They're envisioning for the event duration 24 hours to 7 days with 7 tiers of difficulty and 3 feats per tier. So there's feats for it as well. So
to unlock the next tier, you have to do a couple feats probably.
Yeah.
Which I can see them.
Oh, good.
I can see them adding some of the what do they call them? These modifiers to other game modes too, if they end up working out, especially the environment thing. Like Territory War. Once you kind of know the squads that you have in your guild, it's fairly like easy to know like where to place them and who can attack where and whatnot. But like, what if you had like a blizzard and all those characters are now more vulnerable, or you add wind and they don't have the foresight that they usually have or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like that.
So it could totally change the way that like Territory Wars could work too.
Yes.
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, would it be a good or bad idea to have these effects randomly happen during the match? So like instead of like the effects being there at the start match, it just like randomly happens, like the last minute, boom, everyone's got frostbite, or maybe it's 3 minutes in, somebody gets frostbite.
I feel like that would piss people off. They would need to know a little bit about how it's going to work, but that's how war is, like now we know weather patterns and whatnot. But if you knew like, all right, for these 3 hours during the event, we have like this storm coming through and you're not going to be able to use these squads because they're more vulnerable or something like that. It could be interesting.
I just hope it's not.
I don't see them doing it, but I think it could be interesting.
I hope it wouldn't be an RNG fest. That would be my fear.
For sure.
Like, oh fuck, the storm came out of nowhere and decimated my whole team.
Yeah.
I was running my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and
yes, exactly.
Big wave came. Kylo can deal with waves, though. He doesn't give a shit about waves. He'll just walk right through them.
Biscuit in chat had a great point. What rewards would you like to see from Galactic Challenges? And by the way, we are streaming all of our podcasts. If it's not apparent, I know we have some new people in the Discord server. If you're listening to us just on podcast medium, we do our podcast live as a stream on YouTube right now. So every other Monday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, you can watch us. You can look at our faces while we speak.
Oh,
we don't have as many. Look at Darth Stark. Look at us, majestic as ever.
Adorable.
But yeah, you can, and then you can interact with us in the live chat on YouTube, and eventually we may be jumping over to Twitch. But yeah, that's a great point, Biscuit. That was my first. That was my initial.
Is it worth it?
Wonder. Yeah. What are the rewards going to be? For me personally, there has to be get one as a reward. That has to be.
It's not gonna happen. It's an individual thing. They're not going to give you guild event tokens for that.
Well, that's a good point. And or shards. Those get one shards. So Gas, Malik, Hermit Yoda, or Wampa. I think that would be that's the currency I'm most interested in, or I think is the hardest for players to get.
I guess if you're going up to the end tiers, maybe, but I don't think they're going to give any guild event tokens out for that. It's an individual player.
Yeah, I didn't think
mode.
about that. Literally, the name of it is guild event tokens, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I would, or maybe a new currency that can exchange for guild event tokens or something. I don't know. One idea I've heard
Mon
too.
Calamari, it's good. It's good anywhere, you know. Mon Calamari plan.
Well, I've heard like it's they liken it to a game mode and some Lego game. I've heard the Escape podcast talk about that, like where you essentially can like pick which rewards you want, which path, what will end up leading to. So kind of in the same way that you can with when you're doing like the some of the challenges that come out, or the cargo the ship cargo event that was just today, like
contraband cargo.
Yeah, you can pick like, do I want the prestige reward, or do I want a chance at getting ship shard, ship shard, and which may eventually turn into shard shop currency for me, like. So I'd like that if that was capable, or similarly with the galactic bounties, you can pick which character shard you're rewarded with based on which tier you do.
Right.
I think that would be huge. Of course, I think signal data would be huge.
Oh my gosh, please. Yes.
That would be massive.
Want the signal data.
And what do you guys think? Put it in chat. What would you want to see? I think gear 13 or gear 12 finishers or something, or like salvage material for
Fleshlights.
Is that what it is? Salvage? Yeah, for relicking stuff. Fleshlights, is that what you said?
That one piece, I tell you, man, it looks like.
I mean, it can't be everything that's great that we need in the game, but like,
you know what I really want to see?
It can be. They can totally do that, but they're not going to.
No,
you want to know what I really want to see?
What do you want to
More than one Omega.
Yeah. Yeah, those Omega.
I don't care about Omega. If it's Omegas, I'm not playing this shit. If that's what we're getting, well, I'm good. I'm all set, guys.
Purple mats and blue mats. That's what you're getting.
Right.
See, I want them in there just because as we continue to develop new and more powerful characters, they're going to require more and more Zetas. And some of them require what? 10 Omegas per Zeta?
13.
Yeah.
And then they're open to the idea. They said it right here. They want this to not just be like a maximum level 85 people have access to this. So having the Omegas there, that's really going to help the lower tier people. Because I remember struggling to just get enough Omegas to give 5 to
do your regular Omega abilities. Yeah.
I mean, now I got like 100 stored up because I've learned you hoard.
Yeah, well, I think
you 100 Omegas.
Yes.
When you're early in the game too, like you just, I see a red button I can upgrade, so I'm gonna hit it, even if it's like Clone Wars Chewbacca or something. So I think you spend them more haphazardly than we do now. But in chat, Spice Den said that fully crafted crunch gear like stun guns, stun cuffs, and carbantes. Yeah, that's a great one
for sure.
That would be huge. That would be worth, you not having to rely on good RNG with raid rewards and or just straight up farming that stuff, day after day, wasting so much energy, just hoping you get a good drop rate. Yeah, that would be worth it.
That'd be amazing.
Not alone, but I think
now you're gonna have RNG like Frostbite though. So
yeah, right. Potentially.
We'll take a quick break. Be right back, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink too. BFL, impart some wisdom on the folks that are listening.
All right, I'll keep the crowd entertained then.
Entertain them for a couple minutes.
All right, I'll see what I can do. All right, so now it's just VFL chat time. So, I guess I'll kind of give my opinion a little bit more on the galactic challenges, and if someone has something they want to bring up in the chat, we'll go into that. The galactic challenges overall, it's going to be a great thing. Like we kind of alluded to earlier, kind of feels like this is CG's answer to a sandbox, or at least a temporary solution to such, because I'm sure most of us remember a lot of the Q&As. They always say no, we're not going to do a sandbox mode yet. Yes, we know people want it. We want to do it. Just now is not the time. So there's a lot CG can do with this. I'm really, really excited for it because they can go all sorts of directions with it. Feats with them, that's going to be great, especially if they want to do a couple of the feats that are from GAC. I'm talking like the title rewards and stuff, because sometimes it's like, oh, use these characters and you'll get this title, and it's like, oh, I just really want this, but you don't have those characters geared up, and so you gotta sit there and pray that your GAC opponent puts absolute trash on defense so you can get lucky. That might be something a little nice to put in there. I don't know. That's kind of my opinion on it. Brick's back. And Darket's back. Sweet.
Hey.
What beer are we drinking?
What did you grab? Either one. I have both.
I didn't grab anything yet. I wasn't sure.
I had Mrs. Darkett grab me both. So.
Oh, nice. SK. I just grabbed one.
Yeah, SK is strawberry kiwi.
And what's the other one?
Watermelon guava.
Oh, okay. I'll do the kiwi. I'll grab that.
Okay. I can tell by the smell which one's which, but they're the exact same batch, so they look identical, but they smell way different. I think you said strawberry kiwi, right?
Mm.
You're like, it doesn't pertain to me. I don't listen.
Does not pertain to me. Ooh, you know what? Fun fact, because I didn't know about this for the audience listening, because maybe they'll find this interesting. I recently learned that there was a Star Wars comic. I don't remember the name of it, but they briefly went into what happened to Click Clack. So from Star Wars Rebels, there was an episode where they went to Geonosis and they found the last survivor and the last egg, the last queen egg. The comic actually goes into what happened afterwards. And it's actually kind of interesting because apparently the queen loses her womb, and so she replaces it with a droid factory. So now she's just mass producing B1s that look like Geonosians.
What?
And so
that's crazy.
And so someone shared a shot from the comic. It was just like Darth Vader overlooking her in her little droid factory. It was just like, that's a scary thought, to think that the Geonosians are like, you know what, screw it, I lost the ability to reproduce the population, so we're going to switch over to battle droids.
That's crazy.
Fun fact.
All right, I'm back.
Dig it.
So strawberry kiwi, do you need a name for this?
I don't have a name for either one of these. I just named them after the flavors. So if you have a name,
well, I was thinking, so you could
know.
have an interaction with kiwi. That's a term used for folks from New Zealand.
Yep.
And the director of a few Mandalorian episodes is Taika Waititi.
Ooh.
So maybe you could make a Star Wars theme somehow, but that's a really hard name to say.
Strawberry kiwi titi. Kiwi titty.
Perfect. Yeah, have people say that 10 times fast, I'm sure.
I love that we're going from a stout with a lot of aroma, flavor, and complexity to a blonde that's like just simple.
Yeah.
You haven't had this one yet, have you?
No, I haven't had any of your latest batch.
Brand new batch.
Smells great, man.
You got,
very fruity.
you got strawberry, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure I got the right one. Cheers.
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 Why don't you go grab something to drink?
I don't know
Get
if
some
I even
water.
have anything.
Get some water, man. Stay hydrated.
All right, I'll get some water. I'll be right back.
Strawberry kiwi. I taste some berry.
I would say the kiwi is more prominent than the strawberry.
My shit palate is telling me otherwise.
The kiwi titty is a little more prominent.
That's good. Yeah, I taste berries more than I do kiwi. I don't know. Let me keep trying it.
We did just drink a stout with peanut butter, coffee, and dark chocolate.
That's a good point. I got to get reacquainted. Maybe if I do a rinse,
Yeah, this is like a rinse. It's very light. It is
like mouthwash.
It is 5.4% though. So like it tastes light, and I've probably drank about 4.5 gallons of this in the last week and a half, and it'll get you. So be careful.
You brewed this yourself, eh?
Yep, that's a home brew.
So what's do you want to describe anything about it as far as your home brewing process to the listener?
Yeah.
Or-
So we, me, Loki, Ninja, we have a brew stand. So we use basically 3 half-barrel kegs that are hollowed out to do our system. So we have a lauter tank to get the water hot. We have a mash tun to put the grain in there and let it do its thing there. We got a boil kettle. So overall, the whole day for brewing takes about 5 hours from the time that you start to the time that you clean up and finish. Get the water hot, throw it over in the mash tun, put the grain in, let that sit for about an hour. Then you send all that to the boil kettle. Then you basically rinse the grain so you get all the sugars out of the grain. And then that goes over to the boil kettle too. You boil all that, throw some hops in as you go, depending on the recipe. This one doesn't use a lot of hops. It's like probably 3-4 ounces total. Whereas like an IPA will use like 10 ounces. So a lot of hops in those. This one is very light on hops. And then takes about a week to ferment. And then secondary ferment with either like a fruit puree or a flavoring agent, and good to go. Put it in a keg, carbonate it up, drink it.
Cool. That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Man.
This one is a fun one to do because it's super easy to brew, and then I can do a lot of variations on it. So like the next time I do it, I want to do like a spicy version of it, like some like melon and like habanero maybe. So
ooh, nice. Yeah. I like that. We've had it before. That Blake's hard cider, the mango habanero.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. It's tasty.
Yep.
All right. So we talked about the road ahead.
We didn't talk GAC yet though.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So let's go just round by round. Hold on. Can you guys hear that?
Yep.
Okay. Let me stop that.
Oh no, I can't hear it. I can't hear sound from you. I can hear just you.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I had BlueStacks going. Sorry, being a real dad here.
Did you have your game sound on?
I sure do, and it's a lot of orchestral music playing. Blaze. Oh, here we go. Mute all instances. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Yeah, who wants to? So we'll just do the last 3 most recent rounds, and we can do overall record if you want, if you know offhand.
Yep.
So far this season in GAC.
My first matchup was pretty tough. The first guy that I got in this most recent one was like 500K above me, 450K above me. So it was one of those like I'm going to be pretty much outmatched. He had like all the good teams, Padme, Malik, GG. So even when I looked at it, I'm like, if he throws this down, I have no chance. I did my standard defense on it. He cleared me. And then I couldn't finish him off on the bottom. So that one was pretty bad, but it did inspire me to change my defense up quite a bit. And I think I got a good setup now,
Nice.
Even for people who are like way outmatched. So I lost that one 17-32 to 11-29. So a pretty bad loss, but I know what I did wrong against an opponent like that.
You live, you learn.
That's right.
You cry. I don't know the song. It's Alanis Morissette. That's about it.
Dude, I love Alanis Morissette. She is so good.
Oh yeah, she's rad.
I can't wait to see her musical.
Maybe we'll get her on the podcast.
Yeah, I think it's totally possible. Like, what else is she doing right now? Her musical and tour got canceled. She's got nothing going on. Come
That's
on.
a good point. Get her on Zoom. What if she's a Galaxy of Heroes player? I would love to know that if there's any like big celebrities
that play.
Yeah, there probably isn't. There's probably not one. No.
Yeah.
Mine was my first round was a pretty decisive victory. I won 1745 to 1688. We both cleared each other, full clears. I went with in scouting my opponent. Like I just have a better GAC roster than they do. It's obvious in the score. Like I didn't put many tough things on defense. Like I just put some, bare minimum squads on there and saved everything for offense. And I was just way more efficient than they were.
Sweet.
So got an easy victory. How about you, BFL?
My first round was a loss.
Oh no.
I only cleared the bottom half, and they full cleared me. Uh, their top one was blocked off by a, a decently relic GG team and a full Gear 12 Padme team, and that was
Oof.
protecting the fleet.
That's
So
rough.
I couldn't get to it. And he knew I could beat his fleet. His fleet was not developed at all. So
Smart to put that.
I'm shocked he even managed to beat my fleet. And so I'm a little suspicious about that round, to be honest, because
I get that too. It's like I don't think you could beat this like legit.
Yeah.
Like there's something going on, some kind of shenanigans.
well, they put all the really good teams on defense, because I said they put Padme on there, they put GG, they put Darth Revan and Malik, they put Bugs. I think they put Jedi Knight Revan as well, and one other normally really good offensive team. I can't remember what the other team was, but I was just like,
Keep track of that
doesn't look-
GAC history.
yeah, I'm gonna check it. I mean, looking at his roster, because I did before the thing reset, it's possible, but he only messed up once on my entire defense. I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
possible, but really unlikely.
Not probable.
Improbable, yeah.
Improbable. But you know what? I'll take it.
How was your round 2, Darkest?
Matchup 2. This one also looked pretty tough, but like I said, I did a lot of changes for my defense. What I wanted to do was bait him into going after my ships because I knew he couldn't beat my ships. I think he was running like an Executrix bug fleet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was like rank 300. I was like, all right, this is fine. I'll throw like my Ewoks and my first order over there and make him go that way. And then after he did that, he was like, didn't have anything for the bottom half. So he beat my Padme squad in a couple attempts, but then got tripped up on my new one, which is Newt Lead, Dooku Asajj, Magna Guard, and Watt. And he took like 3 or 4 attempts on that, and I was like, done.
Nice.
So I cleared him. I did trip up once, so I didn't get like a all first attempt, but I beat him 1694 to 938.
Very nice.
There was he had a Newt squad in the back with like GG and a couple other droids and Dooku, and I tried to underman it, and it was stupid. I should have just gone with like a full squad.
The tried and true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. So I'll tell you guys right now, that's convenient that it's my second round. My second round, I ended up winning 17-14 to 12-30. Now this round, I didn't respect my opponent again, like I did the first time around. Like I just had better rosters than they did. Neither one of them had ever made Kyber, and like didn't even look like they were close to making Kyber based on their roster. Like just they didn't invest in like important, strong PvP teams overall. So this opponent, what I did is instead of just auto setting my defense from the first one, is I think it's good to be unpredictable, like to have good variability on your defense for your opponents, because you want to keep them guessing. If they are scouting you, I threw troopers on defense this time. I was just like, fuck it. What? I mean, they didn't have anything that I could really in their roster that screamed like, yes, I can trooper this easily. I don't really need it. So I put Imperial troopers on defense, and they actually got 2 holds, which was hilarious because they're only like gear 8 or 9. But then I threw like Phoenix, and then I kept a sneaky Grievous squad in the back, all gear 12 with like GG's relic, and so is B1. So
Yeah.
I knew they weren't going to be able to mess with it, and they couldn't beat my fleets. But this battle was the one that I did live on the Gambit podcast stream or Gambit stream. I was nearly perfect, but I was going for the feat that requires you the Empire Strikes Back feat, where you have to have Bosk, IG-88, Dengar, Boba Fett, and Vader on the same squad to get the feat. And I went in against like a pretty weak clones team, a Rex lead, and they walloped me, dude.
They come out guns a-blazing, those teams. Like
Literally, they just smoked me, and
It's
it was
crazy.
live on the stream. I'm like, oh man, and I had so much offense too. Like I could have totally beat this team. This is a classic
the feet.
example of using the shitty, you know, going for the fleet or going for the feet and then losing because you use trash.
Yeah.
But I still got the win, so that was nice. I was disappointed. I wanted to one shot everything on the stream and look cool, but I didn't. BFL, how was your round 2?
Round 2 is good. I won this one. Looking at my opponent, his roster wasn't overwhelming. It looked like it was going to be fairly even. I think I have one or two more good teams than they did. So to my surprise, when I got on, they did full defense. All their good teams were on defense. I was just like, oh, are we gonna have another round 1 here?
Yeah.
They never attacked.
Oh, geez.
So I'm assuming they just went heavy on defense and then just were like, I'm not
best.
going to play. So I won 1754 to 640. So
Nice. That's a good score, man.
Yeah,
You're in
so-
Division 3?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good score.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I'm almost in Division 2 as well. I remember you talking about that earlier.
Oh,
So
okay. You're about to bust.
yeah.
1379 or 3.79 is the cutoff.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
That's such a stupid cutoff because there's so much more above that. Because you got all of the 4 millions, all of the 5 millions, and then what Division 1 is 6 million and above?
No.
Not even 5.
No, it's lower than that even, I think. Let's pull it up here. Oh, oops. You keep talking. Did you have more to say?
I was just gonna say, like, that doesn't seem like a really balanced way to break the player base up, because like your whales are in the 5.7 and above, up to 7 million. Like, that doesn't seem like a balanced way to break those divisions down. They got to add a division somewhere.
Yeah, they have been begging for that, but I think more for the high end, like
Yeah, that's fine.
like
a 1A, 1B kind of thing.
Yeah. If my game would load.
S tier or something like that.
Here, my game loaded. So the cutoff into Division 2 is 3.8 million.
Yeah, that's the start of it, the
Yeah.
bottom. And then what's the cap for Division 2?
The cap for Division 2 is 4.49.
Yeah.
That's,
So you could be 4.5 and go against somebody who's 8 million GP.
That's an
Yeah.
FT. That's a free to play player who started at launch. Really, I mean, that's pretty easy to get to. Because really, like the division breakdowns, anything that's like below Division 5 to like Division 11, that's like your first couple months of playing right there. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm still not to Division 10. I'm still in Division 11. And like I've been playing that for about a year, and no, like 9 months. But it goes quick after that. Like, you can stay in Division 11 for a while, but after that, you like move up pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the breakdowns set right, to be honest. But
Don't let
else?
me forget about Road Aheads in a second here.
Yeah.
Once we finish GAC, I just had a quick comment about that.
Oh,
How was your round? Or were you done BFO, or did you have?
No, I just want to say I just checked. I'm 106,000 away from the next division.
Just pull mods off, you'll be fine.
I've considered that. Yeah, I am 20,000 away.
As long as you're not like doing LSGO, pull all the mods off of your low characters.
I did that for the most part.
Did
The
you?
Vader Zeta really boosted me up because of his ship, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like I honestly don't care. Whatever.
You got to throw that Zeta on.
Come at me, bro. Remember that
Yeah.
meme? Remember that thing?
It's like, whatever. Just you've been good in GAC. You'll be fine in Division 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if not, like I feel like even if you lose, you learn something. You know, it makes you want to be better. It makes you should learn from it in one way or another.
And the rewards are still slightly better, anyways, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
get
that's a good
slightly
point.
higher.
I didn't
They are
realize.
a
I
little
didn't
better,
think,
yeah.
I didn't consider that.
Yep.
So either way, I consider it a win.
Yeah. So round 3, Darkit, how was your round 3?
Round 3, this one, I was like not tough at all. When I looked at my opponent, I'm like, okay, this is like pretty much going to be butter. He didn't have a D Revan, so that helped. I did kind of the same thing, try to bait him into my fleet, except he did have a decent fleet. He had a negotiator, so he took the bait, cleared my top, and then got stuck in the exact same spot. He didn't even attempt my Padme, but he got stuck with like 3 attempts on that Newt squad with Magna Guard and Watt. So I'm going to keep using that as long as I can, to be honest, and see what it can do.
It works, man.
I would love to add a nest in there. My nest is nowhere near usable, but like that would be like cake in that team too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on nests right now. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like such a great GAC character. Yeah. And the mods aren't too bad either. The way I'm modding mine is to be super slow with all tenacity mods.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really hard to stun with tons of offense and tenacity. So,
yeah.
And if it's slow, once it gets stunned, it just stays that, you can't do any damage on it. It's just like horrible to face.
Yes.
So on that one, I think this is one of my best banner counts so far. I got 1741 on that one.
Nice. That's good.
To 1196. Because I usually don't get in the 1700s. It's just like I don't have the number of usable squads.
Yeah. My round 3 was a victory, which is cool. I went 3-0 this time. I'm at a total of 5-1. What was your ending record or so far through GAC, Darkit?
4-2.
Okay, 4-2, not bad.
Yep.
I'm 5-1 at this point. I won all 3 this time around. My final opponent, though, really made me sweat. I was texting you, Darkit, throughout this. It was really it was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least.
Like
my opponent had both Darth Revan, a fully relict Darth Revan, and an R6 Malak. So their toughest squad they had on defense, and they went full defense. So they had Revan and Darth Revan. So they had an R7 Darth Revan with relict Bastila, HK Scion, and a relic 6 Malak. So that was the toughest squad I had to face. I was able to take out their bottom territory, which wasn't too bad. It was like a half relict Jedi Knight Revan team. So I took them out with my Night Sisters, and then I took out whatever else was on the bottom. It wasn't anything too tough. And then I went to top. So they put their Darth Revan on top to block their ships, because their ships were diggity dog shit. So, which is a common theme here in Division 3. Just, I don't know what people are like, no, I like characters. Ships are dumb. Like,
I don't understand it. Ships are so important.
It's half the game, But so for Darth Revan, my counter was Padme. My like half relict, almost Padme team, and they got decimated. They just got smoked. So I did have contingency plans. I saved everything for offense. So then I went in. What did I go in with? So since I lost, I decided that I was going to just go in with a trash squad. So I force closed so I wouldn't have the preloaded turn meter. So then I just threw in, I think my Rogue One squad that doesn't have, or half of them don't have mods, just to clear all of the cooldowns of all the special abilities of the Revan squad, to burn all those AoEs and all the heavy stuff. And then I went in as my third attempt with my Darth Revan. So I went with Darth Revan, Watt, because again, I have a crappy Darth Revan squad. So I went with Darth Revan, Watt, Geobrute Alpha, Fallen Bastila, and who was the 5th? I can't remember. Somebody else. Thrawn, I think. Yeah, I think Thrawn. So I took out Darth Revan with that team, which was cool. and I think I took out maybe HK or Bastila, but so Malik was left with, or no, I took out Scion and Bastila, and I still had Darth Revan, Malik, and HK to deal with.
That's pretty scary still.
Right. So for my fourth attempt, I had my GG this time. So I went in with General Grievous, and I was able to finish him. So it took 4 attempts, but I got the win. And going into this, my opponent had already full cleared me, which I wasn't anticipating because they put literally all of their tough stuff on defense. But it ended up working out. I ended up winning. I won. The final score was 17-14, or no, sorry, 1693 to 1687. So just barely squeaked away with the win.
It's pretty tight.
It was very tight. But I was glad I got the win. It was a tough opponent. And it's crazy because in hindsight, like I remember texting you, Darth Darkett, like I was really stressed out about it. I was like, oh man, I don't even know if I could get the clear here. Like, because even with Padme failing, like I didn't think I could, put a squad together or a few squads together enough to get the full clear. Like maybe I could down the Malik, maybe, but then what am I going to have, going forward? So it was scary, but I ended up getting the win. And in hindsight, like I remember I texted you before I attacked and I was like, man, I should have put Grievous on defense, but Grievous was the key. He was the one that downed Malik, which, I mean, that was, if I did, I would have lost. I wouldn't have got the full clear. So it's crazy.
The Grievous squad is so good at weakening teams, the teams that like are really, really tough. Mm-hmm. So I always keep it on offense.
And it's so good for Malik too, because he grants a healing immunity on basic, and that's clutch against Malik. Yeah. The only other character I know of as a reliable counter for just Malik is First Order, because especially with OG Kylo, he can put healing immunity on Malik, and then you can just whittle him down from there. And the stuns are huge, so he doesn't even get a turn with crew.
Yeah.
So that's a reliable counter. But GG as well. I mean, and the AOE damage he does, of course, he's money. So.
Oh, totally. Yep.
Sorry, BFL. That was a long one.
We got BFL yawning over here.
I know.
All right, so for my round 3, I got another win, 1734 to 975.
Nice.
It's a good win.
Yeah. My opponent only managed to clear my top first territory. They took 3 attempts on my fleet, and even then they still couldn't clear it. So I feel bad for him because it wasn't even my negotiator fleet. It was just my Thrawn with literally my rebel ships.
Don't feel bad for him. You built that fleet, and fuck him, make him suffer.
Then he took 2 attempts on my bugs, cleared them, but then he didn't bother with my GG, so he couldn't break my defenses. They set something weird on defense, though. I mean, they did Night Sisters and an old Ben-led team with Zeta Maul, Zeta Zam, TIE Pilot.
Say what?
And a Zeta Nest.
That wasn't like an auto place?
No, because everything else was like full normal teams.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then the bottom was or a Sing lead with a full Gear 12. Everyone's got their Zeta's bounty hunter team.
I don't even know what her leader ability is.
Neither did I. I had to check, and it's like, oh, if they're under stealth, they'll do bonus damage, and I'm just like,
that's stupid.
I'm like, you got the Bosk Zeta, you got the Django Zeta. I can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird choice.
It's pretty silly. Maybe it was just like a confusion tactic.
Maybe.
Don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, I went to Discord. I'm just like, should I be concerned? Everyone was like, no.
I saw that and I was like, I don't know what Aura Singh does. I've never faced her, to be honest.
I looked at it, I'm like, I don't think I should be concerned, but let's see if someone's got anything to add.
She might be in like a supporting cast, as like a 5th bounty hunter, but that's about it.
Yeah, she's only really good in the raids because of her top wool for her 3rd special or whatever. And then it was FO. So that kind of confused me because it's kind of like, what should I do here? What should I do here? I got through the bounty hunters with the CLS team. So that was pretty. It just melted them because without the defense from Bosk, Han chewed through all their protection before they even got turns
Yeah.
with Chewie.
What'd you use on the first order?
First order, I sent in my Shaktian clones.
Okay.
Because they were all Gear 12, and I have a pretty good track record against FO that are Gear 12 with my clones.
I want to obviously get that team usable so I have like another option for first order because, you know, like if I have a bounty hunter and a first order zone, that I want to be able to like use JTR in one of them, but like I've only got one JTR squad. So like having the shock as an option is going to be good too.
Yeah, it's just I don't have a lot of luck the moment they relic or
Yeah.
Gear 13 Kylo unmasked. It's dicey.
Brick, when I was watching you in your GAC stream, I don't know which day it was, you were doing JTR way different than I use JTR.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I was like, I think I've been doing this wrong the whole time because like I struggle sometimes on first order if they're relict, but like you're assisting in a different way, and I'm like, oh, I need to be calling BB-8 in more often.
Yes.
Because I usually just go to Finn because Finn is like the damage dealer. But like if BB-8 goes, then like everybody else goes. It's like it's stupid to not do that.
It's just more attacks. And then if you're using C3PO as well, basically the whole team attacks if he calls BB-8 to assist. Because there's some verbiage in there. That's what's great about I love watching people stream GAC, even if it's, you know, somebody like Zareth or Solo Base that are way above where I am in the game, like on their main accounts. It's still helpful because they use a lot of the same teams, and you're just seeing them do like, you may just pick up on one little thing, and it can make all of the difference, like something like that. Another thing I picked up from watching them on their streams is that with R2 stealth, they will stealth everyone but BB-8 because BB-8 has foresight going a lot, and if somebody I think tries damaging BB-8, he has some verbiage in his unique or in his Zeta for I think his unique that I forget what it does. It gives him like turn meter, or feeds turn meter or something like that. Because I always thought like, well, yeah, I'm going to leave Jedi training Rey exposed from the stealth because she always has foresight up and she's the tank of the character, but BB-8 actually makes more sense.
Right.
If you have that Zeta.
The way that you were doing it too, it actually helped me today in the hat raid because sometimes P1 for me is dicey with that JTR team. I had no trouble at all. I even got into like a little bit of issue with like the enraged meter. I was like, I'm only halfway through and it's already at like 7. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, but doing the assist right, it was like no problem. And I think like when I beat P1, it was like enrage was at like 5. I was like, oh, why did I not know how to do this in the first place? Like, I feel like I've been like underutilizing this squad the whole time.
I think so. I mean, it's huge having that. Let me see here. Okay, so it's actually, I don't have the Zeta. It's the self-preservation protocol unique for BB-8. So if you have the Zeta, when BB-8 takes damage, he has a 50% chance to gain foresight for 2 turns. At the start of each encounter, if BB-8 is active, droid allies gain 8% turn meter. Let me see. Let me scroll down. If it would let me, it's not. That's cool. Well, I guess it still works. Oh, I see. So the Zeta is when BB-8 evades, droid allies recover 8% health and protection, which is huge for R2 and C3PO. You know, they're generally in a resistance squad, or can be anyway.
Yeah.
So that's massive. So that makes sense why you would. I was always wondering, I'm like, why are they leaving BB-8 exposed? And BB-8's fairly tanky. You know, if you tried to focus a BB-8, it can be tricky because of all the foresight.
The foresight, you get lay a hit on him.
Yeah.
Have you done a solo with your JTR squad?
No, they're not. A lot of them, like my R2 is only gear, I think 10 or 11, and I don't know. I haven't really experimented much. I have trouble getting out of P1.
I don't use R2. I go JTR, C3PO, BB-8, Finn, and Han solo actually, because Han does huge damage because I have him at Relic 7. But you
that
can
makes
use
sense.
Resistance Trooper too in there. But
Yeah.
he probably would have to be at like a relic level too.
Yeah, he's only gear 12, but
It could still work if you do
Yeah.
it right.
Well, one thing I wanted to touch on with the road ahead, I looked at old road aheads just to compare, because I've heard a lot of people talking about the road ahead and saying that like there's a lot of weight to this road ahead, because there has been, it was delayed, and there has been a lapse in content based on what the community wants and sort of what CG's put together. But it's pretty crazy in contrast. Like you said, this is a different road ahead. So the last road ahead that we had, this can't be right. Was in November?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
Really?
it was. Yep.
Well, that road ahead's crazy, because that road ahead talks about Galactic Legends. It talks about the Journey Guide. It talks about the Hyperdrive bundle. So yeah, that was a big one. That was
a huge one. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had so much there.
And then the one before that I see is July. That seems,
It's like every 3 months.
yeah.
That's 6.
Well, that one was
Yeah, it's a little
basically
off.
that the new the Geo the light side Geo TB
Okay.
was coming out.
That's
and then,
huge.
Then also Relics.
Previous to that would be Relics, and then previous to that would be Grand Arena Championships.
Well, this one was Relics. This road ahead was Relics. They're talking about unlocking iconic power. Star Wars is a galaxy filled with objects just as recognizable as the characters. Darth Vader's mask, Hermit Yoda's cane, Rey's quarterstaff.
I remember trying to like speculate on all of like the different things that would be out there, but like in the worst way,
Yes.
What
Yeah,
are
was
the
it-
relics? What's the relic going to be for Dengar?
Yeah.
Abandoned, big, huge, fucking
Right.
ace
Yeah, with it,
bandage.
I think we did Lobot's earpiece or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Gamorrean Guard's loincloth. There was a lot of good ones. The loincloth of power.
yeah.
Okay. So last thing I wanted to show, I'm going to share my screen here, or try to, so that this Get One planner I put together, if anybody wants to see it. And again, I'll put it online. I'll see how this turns out. I'm going to try and share my screen here. Well, I lost the icon for sharing my screen. So
It's on the bottom. It's
oh, here
green.
we go. It popped up again. Okay. All right. So do you got, no, that's not it. Maybe it is. What do you guys
There
see?
we
Do you see
are.
anything?
Yeah, we got it. We got you.
Okay.
I see it.
So what this is I have been tracking all of the Get One currency, because now like Get One is really a very valuable commodity at this point. We have General Skywalker, of course. We have Malik up here, you can see. We have Hermit Yoda, Wampa. These are all needed for various reasons. So what I did is I tried to figure out over on the left here what the type of Get One currency income I was receiving on a monthly basis. So I just kept tracking it every time. So there's 4 different ways to accrue Get One currency. Guild event token currency, the first one. You can get them from the Heroic Sith raid. You can get them from territory wars. You can get them from territory battles, light or dark. And then you also can get them from achievements, which I didn't factor into this at all, because I mean, who gives a shit? A lot of us have achievements already, and I don't think you can really count that as a reliable source of Get One income. So what I did is I tracked what I earned in each of these events of Get One. So Heroic Sith raid, I came in 6th place. I earned 520 Get One. So I just kept a tally. Like light side Geo, this is going to vary, based on where your guild's at, what kind of stars you're achieving. And then of course with Heroic Sith raid, it's hard to predict what place you're going to get in the raid. I got 3rd place once. I got 6th place all the remaining times. And again, with territory wars, you don't know. You might win, you might lose. There's not a huge swing in cost difference. If you lose in territory battles or territory wars, we get 425 based on the GP level of our guild. If we win, we get 500. So what I did is I added up all of this stuff, and the sum came to a monthly income of get one of 16,550 on average, which is more than I thought. I was thinking more along the lines of 10,000, but I wasn't factoring in territory wars, which is a big source of income. And over here, you can see I just kind of did some rough calculations. So our guild seems to be averaging about 8 heroic Sith raids per month based on the amount of tickets that we've accrued. And then there's 4 territory wars per month on average. And again, this is just a monthly basis you can see here for us. So June 19th through basically July 19th. There wasn't any other events taking place before the 19th. And these were all payouts. These dates are all dates that we actually receive the rewards, because when they start is kind of irrelevant. You know, when do you get the rewards? That you can't do anything with the territory battle on day one. So what I did is I tallied it up. So that's nice to know. 16,550 is what I'm kind of looking at, give or take, probably I'd say give or take 500 get one currency maybe. So what I did is I broke that down. So that's about what I'm making on a monthly basis and get one. And for me, General Skywalker, you can see I'm at 55 of 85. So I need 130 shards. Now the cost per get one currency for a gas shard, General Skywalker shard, is 380. Same thing for Malik, you can see here. So the exchange rate is 380 currency for one shard of the character. So in total, I still need 49,400 get one to get a 7-star gas.
Oof.
That works out to 2.8 months, because what I did is, this amount here, the 16,550 is this is a month's income, like I said. So what I did is I divided the 49,400 by that amount, or vice versa. So it worked out to 2.8 months. So almost 3 months I'll have a gas, which at that point he probably will have hit the journey guide. So I did all of that for kind of nothing. But then this is where it gets interesting. So Malik, even when I do get Malik, I need 66,000 get one. It would have been higher if I didn't get free shards from CG at some point for Christmas or something. I don't know what they did. But yeah, that's 4 months. That works out to 4 months to get a 7-star Malik. And then Hermit Yoda, I need, you can see here, the exchange rate is different. It's 270 get one for one Hermit Yoda shard. Same with Wampa. So they're the same. So I don't have Hermit Yoda. My Hermit Yoda, I need 288 shards. That works out to 77,760 get one currency, or 4.69 months.
Yikes.
And then Wampa, he's 15 out of 100 for me, so I need 85 more shards. That works out to 22,950 get one. So in total, for all 4 of these characters, for me to get them all 7-starred, I'm looking at 12.88 months. So over a year to get them all 7-starred.
That's not even accounting for like getting the light side Revan, right? For Malik.
Right.
You got
right. I mean,
get all that stuff
technically,
taken care of first.
Right. This isn't factoring any gear. This is just straight the shards that you accumulate. Yeah, exactly. Which would be plenty of time in retrospect, to get them geared up, I would think, especially with hitting, getting a good crystal income from arena fleet or ship fleets.
It's too bad you can't accrue those shards before you unlock the character. Like, can I just build up Malik shards in the meantime? I'm not going to use them, but they'll be there when I unlock him.
Right.
Be nice.
That would be nice. Another thing to keep in mind too is that you can earn Wampa shards from the Galactic Bounties, or I forget which one it is, but so that can help. Okay, Galactic Bounties 2. That can help you, knock that number down. And then I just noticed too, they're offering 2 different packs in the stores. They're $25 a piece, or $24.95 or whatever. It makes it sound better. But you can spend $25 and get 12 shards of each of those characters. So, and that actually equates to shaving 20 days off of your grinds for those characters. So that's something to bear in mind if you are going for Jedi Knight Luke and say you're pretty close. That $25 can save you essentially 20 days, depending on where you're at. And again, this spreadsheet, I think I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, and I'm totally open to suggestion. If anybody sees anything where I can improve upon it, or if there's an inaccuracy, I'll definitely update it. But I think that I'm gonna put it on our Discord. If you want to mess with it, you can change these values. So, I just have this as a formula. So, like, say you only need 10,000 Malak shards, it'll change the sum for you right here. It'll tell you, I only need this much, get one. So, it's just kind of a tool. And here too, you can adjust these values. These are not in stone. So you can adjust these values to determine where you're at. So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. That's what I made today. And yeah, that's it. Any questions about this?
Can I hire your services?
They're free. This will be free for viewing, for our Discord folks. So I'm gonna stop sharing here.
Here, Cole from our guild just said something in the chat. What do you say? It's actually a little better. You only need 600 from Malak because of the 10 shirts from CG and the 5 you get past unlocking from his event.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so yeah, not so bad. I was I'm really worried. I guess I'm more focused on the gas one at this point, because from what I understand, Malak's pretty powerful, even at 5-star, gear 11. He still can kind of hold his own, but I do, of course, want a 7-star. So, that's a long-term
But
goal.
I definitely agree. Gas is the better priority, especially because he's newer. He's got a bit more use. I feel personally, especially because you do need him at 7 stars. You really ideally need him gear 13 before you start using him in arena. And Malak, you can start using in arena from the moment you unlock him.
Right. Yeah.
But people like me who have the R7 Jedi Knight Anakin will annihilate him with an AoE.
Right.
Which is so satisfying.
Yeah, that is a good feeling. Peace out, Malak. That was fun while you lasted, but you're gone.
I still remember the first time. I was not expecting it. It was beautiful.
I don't even understand how it works, but it happens, and I'm thankful. I'm like, all right, Malak is out of there. That should be a cakewalk. All right, so I guess that is it for our Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes talk. Today we have Battle Frontline with us, so we are going to continue our chronological viewing of Star Wars content with season 4 of the Clone Wars. We all watched it, and we're going to talk about it. Before we do that, I am going to hit the little boys' room. And
I just did that when you were talking about the spreadsheet at the end. I was like, I'm just going to go.
Oh, I see how you feel about my spreadsheets.
No.
What else are you drinking? Do you want to?
I started drinking the melon.
Okay, I'll get
grab that while you come back.
Yep, I'll do that.
We'll start introducing the season, and then when you get back, hopefully we are ready to go here.
Okay, sweet.
So season 4 of the Clone Wars.
All right.
Came out in 2011. In I think it was the fall of 2011 is when it first released.
Yep.
At that point, I got a few minor historical details here. If you were buying a new home back then, it averaged to be $262,000 overall. The cost of a gallon of gas was $3.50. A U.S. postage stamp was 44 cents. A gallon of milk was $3.39. Movie ticket $8.20. And I know you're really interested in the price of gold, BFL. The average price of gold per ounce was $1,677. We had a few major kind of worldly events. The Arab Spring rebellions were kind of going on. The Occupy Wall Street movement was kicking up. Bin Laden was killed, which is fucking awesome. And in America, if you were a U.S. military person, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law was repealed. In 2011, when this came out, it was actually a year for me that we were doing a lot of changes in our life. Like I said before, when we were watching the first 3 seasons, I was down in Texas teaching, starting my career. This is the year where we decided to move back to Michigan. So I was able to get a job at a local high school, Garden City High School, and back in Michigan. So my adventures in the South were coming to an end. So I know you were watching when this came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing in 2011?
Homework. I wasn't doing a lot with my life.
Doing the student thing.
If I recall, 2011, I was actually playing a lot of the original Battlefront 2 at that point.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just during that year, I was just like, Battlefront 2, Star Wars.
Sure.
And a bunch of other old Star Wars titles I was really into playing. Yeah, I wasn't doing a lot at that point in my life.
That's cool. I mean, for me, it was like a whirlwind of stuff, like Ella was a year and a half. We're back in Michigan trying to settle in. We still had a house in Texas that we were trying to sell. So we were living with my in-laws and looking for houses here, but we couldn't actually buy a house in Michigan until we sold our house in Texas. So it was a crazy time for us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, 2011 was the year we moved. Okay. So, you know what's funny? In fact, I think if I recall, the day we moved in this house was actually the launch for the first Star Wars episode.
Oh, cool.
If I recall correctly.
And I know for this season, I don't know if it was always like this, but they released the first 2 at the same day. They put the first 2 episodes out the same day or week or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so Brick, 2011, what were you doing?
Oh man, 2011. I was Oh yeah, I think I just bought a house. Kind of happened into a house. Yeah.
Not your current one though, right?
No, it was just out of luck. Like my now wife and I at the time, my girlfriend, we had an apartment together, and then we just kind of lucked into getting this house super cheap back actually kitty corner from where my parents lived at the time, which was crazy. But yeah, got a house. Yeah, that's about it.
That's cool.
Got a dog.
Yeah.
So starting to adult was house year.
Becoming an adult.
Yeah, I was starting to adult hard.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Do we want to get into episodes yet, or like favorite quotes, favorite kills? This season for me was like a really good one. There's a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah.
There's not as much throwaway episodes in this one, whereas like the first few that we've talked about, I was like, I don't know, about a third of this I could do without. And I think there's only like 2 or 3 episodes here that I could do without. The rest of it I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I disagree. I found a lot of throwaway episodes in this season personally. Yeah, or just like stuff that like I'm like, okay, I get what you're doing here. Like overall, like I think there were some good plot lines with I mean, right at the end, I mean, just we can touch on it briefly, but the Night Sister Asajj
that whole arc line was really cool.
I think it made the season, but
yeah,
I did like early in the season though too. I guess we can kind of go. Let's just start at the beginning, I guess, and work our way through it. So, the season starts with Water War, which is it's this big underwater battle. Which is a cool idea, I think, and execution. I don't know how much of a fan of I was of it. I don't know.
The idea of it is cool. The execution of it was kind of stupid.
Like, I'm going to try and punch you, but I'm underwater.
Yeah.
Can't you really use my lightsaber underwater? Because I don't know.
See,
I question a lot of like the biosphere in there. It's like, okay, so some of you can just breathe and talk underwater, and then like, do you all have gills? I just don't know if like the whole thing checks out. Like, how is Akbar able to live outside of this area without any kind of like covering over his head? It doesn't really make sense to like the original content.
So you're willing to buy that he's a fish man, but
Yeah. But why isn't he wearing some kind of mask when he's in the ship?
it's a
When
good
he's in
point.
home one? It doesn't make sense to me.
He's an amphibian. Mon Calamarians are amphibious.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know? Frogs don't
Yeah.
have to be in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, they like to be in the water. They like to be damp, I guess, moist, if you will. I don't fucking know, man. It's Star Wars.
The my least favorite quote of the whole season comes in that arc though. Who's the shark boy? What's his name?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I can't
Riff
remember his name.
Tamson? Riff
Shark
Tamson?
guy.
There's plenty of suffering to go around. Well, fuck yourself. Where did you come from? You're like a shark? A shark being? Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
it's such a typical like kind of character development for that kind of a species. Like, of course the shark is the one that's trying to like do this. It just
mhm.
felt like it was very, very forced. I don't know. I thought that was kind of stupid.
I mean,
The whole
I'll
idea of like the separatists trying to like gain a hold here.
Mhm.
It's like, what does this planet even give you? There are other resources here.
So, this is Mon Calamari. So, longtime Star Wars fans will immediately recognize that name because it's the source of the Rebel capital shipyards. So, above the water, and in some cases in the water, because Mon Calamari is famous for their ships that are sometimes made underwater, which is why they have great pressurization a lot, but that's obscure knowledge.
This is the
That's
kind of
what I want to
knowledge.
know.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
BFL.
BFL.
So that's the
It
reason
doesn't
why
make
this
sense to
planet,
me on the surface.
that's why this planet's so important. They're amazing shipbuilders and they have a lot of ship production here. That's why the separatists want it. That's why the Republic wants it. It's a key point, and it goes on to help the rebellion in later years. And I saw the original Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon 2003. They had a brief underwater sea battle here, so to me this was really cool because I immediately recognized that Filoni and them were trying to recreate that and give it a more updated feel. Because to me it was super exciting seeing the scuba troopers. It was exciting to see the Jedi acting out the battle under there, because like they got the lightsabers, but you gotta say they're sluggish. They're trying to get used to the environment, whereas all these droids and the Mon Calamari, everyone's just swimming around. The Jedi are just like, I can't do much. I'm swinging the lightsaber around. So
when we get to our galactic challenges, are we going to get thrown down into the Mon Calamari waters, and then like we have Jedi Knight Luke and this amazing Jedi squad that like can't do anything because they're underwater? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, the Jedi just get thrown out. No Jedi can be used in the underwater.
environmental
Yep.
debuff,
Yes.
drowned.
Yep.
So past this point, like there's I argue a large lull in the plot. So like we've got
You
Gungan
mean when
attack.
Jar Jar comes in?
Yeah,
the
the
GG
Yeah.
Jar Jar
yes.
stuff.
The
That
Shadow
stuff's stupid.
Warrior prisoners. Then we get the Nomad droid episode with C-3PO and R2, and I just
Wait. You're gonna just like look over that part where R2 does the best kill of the whole season?
I think I probably fast forwarded through it, or I don't know, missed it.
Well, R2 just falls on Hazu, kills their leader, and then they have to R2 and C-3PO help them institute a democracy. This is like an American story right here. This is like true American diplomatic stuff. It's like
I fell asleep
taking
right
out
when you
leaders.
were talking right there. I just
and, but those characters, those little furry dudes, their names are the Patities. So
Oh, that's
Patitties.
cool.
I just like the name of that. I think
Wow.
it's a cool name.
Wow, that's totally.
But it
worth
was my
20
favorite kill of the whole season. Is R2 dropping on Jesus. Just falling
I
on
can't
him.
get that 22 minutes of my life back. Okay, I can't.
Ooh.
But I did really like the darkness on Umbra. I did like that arc
Mhm.
with
Oh,
Oh,
all of the Umbara stuff was really fun. I like that a lot.
and
it's time to go dark.
oh yeah,
Pop-
and we get an
pop.
introduction of the Umbaran starfighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That totally makes sense in Star Wars Galaxy, in context of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because I had
Right.
never watched the Clone Wars, and I always wondered, like, why the fuck does Fives drive
this
or
ship?
cruise around in
Mhm.
this? What is it, Umbaran? What is that? Where does this thing even come from? So
Yeah.
I really like that they gave some context to that ship and why he has it. But yeah, this was a cool arc. So kind of, at a glance, Anakin is called away and replaced by a new general who is Pong. What is it? Pong Krell? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Crow,
Crow.
yeah.
Who is going to be the new general while he's away. I think he got summoned to Coruscant.
Yeah, council needed him for something,
allegedly.
allegedly.
But yeah, I think this was a really cool arc because really got to develop the clones more and kind of show their personality and their growth as
Mm-hmm.
people, not just
Individuals,
yes, not just mindless test tube babies. How I have thought about them, and up until I've watched the Clone Wars cartoon
Yeah.
in more depth. So
Yep.
definitely a cool arc. Fives really, or Rex really gets developed as a character quite a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In this challenging authority and things that just you haven't really seen prior to this.
Yeah, because for this story arc, Krell's constantly giving orders. He's not referred to their clones by the nicknames. He's always referring to them by the numbers. So CT555, CT3897, whatever. Which amazes me that he remembers all these numbers.
Right.
But not
He
names.
must just have like a cheat sheet that he just studies.
Yeah. And he gives very questionable and bad orders. And so Rex and the clones are they're trained to follow orders regardless. So you really see this mentality change in the clones of what are orders? How do we know when we've gone too far?
Mhm.
Which is,
Oh, good.
I was just gonna say, which is kind of like a slight hindering to like Order 66. Like the clones are kind of like starting to think, are all orders good? And everyone just kind of recognize like, oh, you don't know what you're about to do.
I like
Right.
too that it showed you the contrasting styles of management, I guess you could say, between the way that Anakin sort of governs and Pong Krell those. So like Anakin seems to, with the clones, like encourage innovation and
Mhm.
thinking on the fly and thinking on your feet, opposed to having this just very basic order and not adapting to the situation, which I think was cool. It was development for Anakin in a way, and Anakin was very much integrated into whatever plans they were doing. He was fighting right alongside them. He would be an
Yeah.
integral part of the plan, whereas Pong was just kind of like you
In
do
the
this.
background.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool to show kind of, I don't know which way is better per se. I mean, technically, if you're the general of an army, you really shouldn't be on the front lines doing everything. You should be hanging back. But Anakin does things differently, and it's a side of him we don't get to see in the feature films. He's in the feature films. He's not fighting alongside clones and you don't get to see these relationships he has with these clones. You get to see him having one-on-one battles, or just like Obi-Wan and him hanging out and doing stuff.
Right.
So which I would love to see more of the Clone Wars, like maybe sometime down the road they do a live action Clone Wars, or certain scenes or certain wars, or I mean it's pretty much endless. There's a lot of stuff they can do. Anyway, go
It's
ahead.
not gonna
Sorry.
happen.
No, probably not.
Probably
There's enough
not.
Star Wars content.
Yeah.
But it was a dark battle for the Republic, quite literally, because the planet's enveloped in darkness.
Yeah.
They suffered heavy losses there, not just because of Krell's actions, believe it or not. It was planet wide. There was just the Republic wasn't ready for that, because the Umbarans, like, they've lived there, they know how it works.
The Umbarans they seem like a formidable force, man. Like, I wish they kind of would have talked about them more. Like,
I wish that too. I mean, and then we also get to see their unique technology and weaponry.
Right. That was interesting. Compelling.
I know some people kind of compared this to what was portrayed as like Vietnam, because like these people would just come out of nowhere.
Oh, interesting.
And just attack the clones and disappear back into the night. And they had like that crazy centipede tank that would just also disappear. You make a whole tank disappear. That's not easy.
Yeah.
You don't just hide a tank.
Yeah, and they use the environment very much to their advantage, and they're on their home turf, so they were able to utilize that against the invading forces, and they wreak some havoc on the Republic forces.
Yeah,
sure.
This is definitely one of the episodes or arcs really that really showed what war was like to the younger audiences. Like, it's not all just here's colorful bullets and generals leading the good fight. There's going to be corruption. There's going to be tough calls. There's going to be signs of mutiny. There's a lot going on here on the psyche of the people involved, and just nobody really knows what's going on. And
what do you think what do you think the environmental modifier is going to be when we go to Umbara in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Minus 50% accuracy.
yeah, I can see that.
Venus flytrap.
Too easy.
Pitfalls. That seemed like a common thing. Those like those giant Venus flytrap things. Like, but there was a cool episode I liked where
if you bring clones in, they question all of your orders.
There was an episode where Fives and Jesse diverted from the plan and snuck into the Umbaran forces and actually piloted a couple of Umbaran starfighters, which
that was cool.
Gave credence to the Fives, that being his ship. Which they just seem like very unique ships, how they're flown. They didn't know it's not the same technology that they used in their ships. I don't even think they were like pilots. So it was a kind of right. Fives really wasn't. They're not really pilots. They're more like artillery clones, right? Would you say?
So Fives is an ARC trooper, so he's trained in advanced recon and military tactics. He's not trained. None of them were trained as a gunner. Him, Hardcase, or Jesse. Jesse's a medic. Hardcase is a bit of a weapons expert, if I recall correctly. But none of them had any sort of flying training. I mean, I think it still can. Disney may have accidentally no longer made it canon because material. But all clones received a basic flight school training.
Okay, so like a cursory knowledge of
but if you look, all the Star Wars ships, they're joystick or steering wheel. Umbarans. They got this weird hand wave thing going on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I liked that to see kind of the creation of that ship.
Yeah,
and kind of like see it in action.
Yeah, but like you're saying, so they go up, they defy orders, they blow up the ship. Unfortunately, Hardcase, he sacrifices himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. That was sad.
Krell's not happy about that, and he's like, you know what? Sign these guys up for treason and firing squad.
Yeah, he orders them for execution. Like, what the fuck, man? They're like, oh, I mean, we thought we were gonna get like reprimanded, but you're gonna kill us for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that point they basically just saved half the forces on the planet already, because that was planetary missiles on board that ship they just blew up.
He's a douche.
Yeah. So, needless to say, the clones did not go through with the execution. We had a.
I do want to see Pong Krell in the game, though. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I would like to see how they handle it because he's basically the human Grievous
Right.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, he
organic
is.
Grievous,
And he's the same race as that Obi-Wan goes to that diner in
Dexter.
Yeah.
Yep. They have the same race. The
Mhm.
forearms but this homeboy, he's working out.
Yeah.
He's doing lots of deadlifts, lots
He's
of
not
deep
flipping
squats.
burgers.
He's got some heavy squats.
Mm-hmm.
Boy's
Yeah.
jacked. But he does go down pretty decisively. Oh,
Yeah.
Biscuit modifier. Oh, environmental. He in chat. Biscuit is suggesting modifier. Whenever a clone uses an ability, there is a 50% chance to use the wrong ability.
I see that.
Could be. Yeah, it's I like that episode too because like it shows again the clones like they're not about to kill their own person just because of the wishes of one person who's not really thinking logically or going against orders, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you consider you're about to execute your best medic, and the guy who's literally trained for this stuff.
Right.
He is physically trained from birth, and everything he's done is meant for military tactics and recon.
Right.
Like that's basically the equivalent of just saying, shoot your boss.
Yeah. Right.
Pretty stupid.
I mean, not really your boss, but more like the specialist, because your boss is the one telling you to do it. But like, it's just like the clones. I can just like only imagine what they had to have been going through. Really. I mean, yeah, it's a show, but like you think about the mentality of that action of being ordered, hey, shoot these guys you've been fighting with for years, months, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shoot Darth Darkit. That's what I'm being tasked to do. No.
Don't do it.
No. Hey man, if I was ever ordered to execute you, I wouldn't. So
thank you. Appreciate
you're
that.
welcome, man. Hopefully you feel mutually about it.
Totally. I wouldn't execute you either. Any of you.
Yeah, BFL, I would shoot you if I was told. No, I'm just kidding. just kidding.
It's the red light. Just throws you off.
Makes I'm literally seeing red right now. I want to shoot you with a blaster. No, I'm just kidding. See, now I have to. You told me to do it.
Do it.
So Krell eventually is outed as. So I forget. Is he a separatist? He's not working for Dooku directly.
He's not working for Dooku. He wants to.
Okay.
He's trying to get into the good graces of the Dooku.
So basically, he's a dick, and
it's Dooku or doo-doo, and he's choosing Dooku. So that's just the way he rolls.
So Anakin, that was kind of a ruse, right, for him to get summoned to Coruscant, which I kind of question. I mean, I guess it's kind of plot devicey. Like Anakin's just like, oh, I gotta go to Coruscant. Okay.
There's no reason for him to go to Coruscant.
No questioning. No telecommunicating. Like, hey, why am I coming to Coruscant instead of helping my men?
What about hollow communicators?
You need me? I'm gonna go.
Exactly. I'm gonna go anyway. You know what? They'll tell me when I get there. It's okay.
Like, yeah, they don't show color, but surely you can relay the message.
Right. And
Rex,
then
you got this.
For
Krell's here. He's probably fine. So
yeah, where did Krell come from? Like, he seemed to have a reputation as like a pretty decorated general leading up to him, turning, but his reckless actions seemed pretty overt that he was trying to
lose a lot of clones.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets gunned down, basically, right?
He gets executed.
He gets murked by the clones. And it's revealed that he's, a bad dude, and he basically admits it. Yep. So from there, we're entering what I think is another lull in the action.
There's the idea behind that next arc is like, okay, but there's not a lot of good development there. Like you can see how like Anakin's trying to like help get these slaves and take down the slavers, but like nothing big really happens. He's just
I was
like, oh,
extremely
there's
bored.
slaves.
Yeah.
I was a slave once. Let me kill some slavers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just kind of see him dive in the dark side a little bit.
They wear those masks to get in. It's kind of
Yeah.
cheesy.
It was very, very forgettable for me. Like a lot of these, and then even like leading up to, Obi-Wan disguising himself as a bounty hunter, and like the staged death of Obi-Wan.
See, I kind of that arc actually kind of interested in me. That part, I'm okay with that part.
I like the bounty hunters. Like when they brought back, of course, Cad Bane is awesome. I mean, Cad Bane is just a great iconic character of the Clone Wars series. I mean, he's in a lot of it. He's a big part of the end of season 1, I think, and season 2 for sure.
Yeah, he's huge in this series.
But yeah, I mean, I love me some Cad Bane, and I don't know. I thought being recruited for Dooku's, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it. It wasn't like, it didn't blow me away.
There is a little bit in here with like Death Watch and Brie Vizsla, right?
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah, they brought back
those-
our boy, John Favreau. Yep.
Yeah. So those scenes were cool, and you get like the iconic, like all of the Death Watch coming down with their in their rockets, and like that's kind of like what inspired the Mandalorian scenes that we've seen.
But these Mandalorians are dicks.
Good, like they are dicks.
Yeah.
They take down anybody who's weak, and it's just kind of assholes.
Mm-hmm. Like bullies.
Kind of like little mini terrorists.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's some good battles, like lightsaber battles, and with the dark saber here going on that I think is kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
But there are some episodes in here that I can like do without. When is it when Cad Bane meets Hardeen or meets, I guess, Obi-Wan? And has no hat. He's just bald.
Yeah.
He's got no
in the prison.
None of the accessories that like make him who he is. So he's just like this bald bean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he does not have the same like look about him, the same like aesthetic that I'm used to. He's not scary. Like I'm like, oh, this guy is just like broken down right now. But it kind of develops. He goes to like the little pawn shop and buys himself a new hat and whatnot.
I need a new hat.
Yeah, the hat was real stupid.
I'll say this 2 things. One, just in case we kind of glanced over a little bit, around the next arc where there's a plot to kill the Chancellor, so the Jedi are like, okay, Obi-Wan, we need you to go undercover, and we're gonna fake your death and tell nobody, not even Anakin.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah, what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
2, one thing that
this in the box episode. Is that what we're talking about right now?
We're kind of talking about.
That's the one where he goes after. Oh no, that's Crisis on Naboo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think BFO was talking about deception.
Deception. Yep, that's the episode where
15.
Obi-Wan is. There's a conspiracy, or I don't know what you want to refer to it as, but Obi-Wan fakes his own death.
Kidnap Palpatine.
Yeah, and so my second point, real quick here, is the one thing that always kind of confused me about Bane's design, because like you said, Darky, we don't see him without the tubes or anything. To me, when I was young, until I saw the episode, it always looked like the tubes were bolted into his cheek. So I just kind of assumed he had like a hole in his cheek. So that way it was just like an alternative method of like oxygen or something.
It's like a port. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they show him in prison and it's like, there's no markings. There's
nothing
no
there. Yeah.
Nothing there. And I was just like, I'm confused.
It was weird. Yeah. I was confused too.
I don't know if that was ever explained. That's something I don't know. And I really should look into.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody has like explained their way out of it, but
this arc just seemed a little, I don't know, kind of pointless. Like, oh, you're gonna help neutralize the counselor, and like, I don't know. It just to me it was like, when's this gonna be over?
It was just one of those like fun spy kind of episode arcs for the young children that also just kind of goes to show Anakin's distrust for the council growing.
Yeah, that's
and
true. Yeah.
Ahsoka's.
Questioning like authority and like what the grander scheme of things actually is.
Yeah.
But this is when we get into some good shit. This is when we bring on the Night Sisters, which I gotta say, as a in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I love the Night Sisters. I know you guys are
don't.
both you guys hate things that are good, and you're like upset that you don't want to use these great characters that are extremely diverse and awesome. But they just really get showcased here. And like I was kind of bummed out because by the time I got to these episodes, I was like on my last, like I was out of steam, man. Like this season like really just took it out of me. I'm like, fuck. I think my favorite part of this season is gonna be when I'm done watching it. Like I was just like I don't know. I was really down on it. And I told my wife multiple times, I'm like, this season fucking blows. And then finally, yeah, that's what I thought. And finally these Night Sisters came in and I was like, yes.
Oh my God, these last 4
3
episodes of the season are crazy.
They're great. They're great. They're action packed. There's characters we actually give a shit about, not some random bounty hunter lackey that wants to be in Dooku's good graces or some fucking furry thing that R2 rolled over that Darth Darka got a boner about.
It was so cool.
They were, I loved it, man. Like, and I was wondering, like, in this season, I'm like, did I miss a part where like Savage Opress died or something? Like, did I miss? Because like everything kind of ended in a pretty chaotic way with his apprenticeship under Dooku and like with the Saj, like there was a like a fight, like a 3-way fight almost, and like and I was wondering when they would come back, and finally these last few episodes really brought those characters back, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
It made the Night Sisters matter again,
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, like Talzin was like around, not really important, and like Dooku like really did a lot in this battle, like trying to fight off Talzin, and
Talzin's
Daka
awesome.
was in like very important too. So like a lot of good like game content characters, like really. Dude, I don't know what episode it was, but like the zombies when they were like hatching out of those little eggs or whatever, it was nuts. It was crazy.
So those are burial pods.
So Asajj ended up going back home to Dathomir, and then she was essentially like ordered to be assassinated by Dooku. So Dooku sent, well, I guess he was there too with Grievous and the droids to eradicate Asajj, going back to Dathomir to destroy them. And there's just this huge battle, this huge onslaught from, both sides are just fighting, going crazy, and lots of cool lightsaber battles. Asajj and Grievous go one-on-one. Asajj actually beats Grievous, but then like the coward he is, he orders his droids to attack her and ends up shooting her. Like really cool scene. And then meanwhile, like Talzin's in the background just doing all kinds of crazy shit, doing her plague, the plague orb. I don't know what that is, but Asajj is awesome, or Talzin's awesome. Like throughout the rest of these episodes as well, like just doing crazy things. Like, and then like you said, Daka shows up. She uses her resurrection abilities to bring back the zombies to like raise dead Night Sisters from the grave to attack these droids, and they're just incredible and like super scary. Like the zombies just are terrifying.
World War Z zombies. They're running. It's not like Walking Dead where they're super slow and like anybody can like outrun them. They're fast. It's crazy.
I mean, and
they're just like taking off heads of like the B1.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
crazy.
I mean, to put this into perspective, it wasn't like Grievous just hopped over with a couple ships. Like he brought a full planetary invasion force. He had the tanks. He brought everything.
Everything was there.
And oh, good.
I was just gonna say, so you just see this wave of droids meeting this wave of zombies.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I would never thought I'd see this in Star Wars, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And other than in addition to that fight, then you have like the bigger battle where it's Talzin is using some type of magic to like cause Dooku to hork over like and have like these boils from his head, like just being excruciating.
The plague.
Yeah, literally gave him the plague somehow, and like then she like shows up in his room as like a hologram or something, and like keeps fucking with him, like. So it was a really cool fight, and then Asajj is going crazy meanwhile, and but the Night Sisters end up being defeated, and actually Grievous, like Dooku keeps
he's on the
encouraging. He keeps encouraging Grievous to go to the source, kill Talzin. So that's your new objective. But Grievous storms the Night Sister stronghold and just straight up murks Daka like nothing. I actually went like, oh, wow. And my wife's like, really? You just went, oh, wow. Like you really cared about these characters. I'm like, but that's Daka. Daka just got sliced down, man. I have that character. Like I'm invested in that character. I've got her to relic 3 or 4. Like, come on.
Right.
But it was kind of merciless. It was a merciless massacre, if you will. See what I did there, guys? Boom. I'm out. Have a good night.
Drop the Zeta.
All right. But yeah, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna continue. You can go.
No, I'm pontificating.
All right. Yeah. So at this point, the battle's lost. Asajj speaks a final time to her friend Talia. Is like, just go, run. So Asajj leaves. Grievous and Dooku are happy. So everyone just leaves Dathomir. Asajj then decides to go sit in a bar and drink a little bit. And she happens to notice a bounty posted for none other than Savage Opress.
Yeah, she joins up with the bounty hunters, and is it Bossk? Or is that just a Trandoshan?
No, I'm sorry. I messed that up a little bit.
You went a little ahead. But...
Yeah, I went way ahead. Ignore everything I just said. Spoilers. No, she kills someone at the bar because he does the jerk kind of thing, like, I'm wanted and whatever. So she just kills him.
Yeah, pretty brutal. And now she's in with the bounty hunters. Is it Bossk? It's Bossk, right?
Yeah, then Bossk and
Dengar. She sees Dengar when she's walking into the bar. She sees Dengar.
She sees Dengar, but Bossk just walks up and is like, "You killed my buddy here, and I needed him."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm down a man. I need you to fill his shoes."
So she reluctantly kind of like agrees, but so they tag along, and she finds out that the boss of this little group is none other than young Boba Fett.
Yeah. And Embo's in the background quite a bit too. We haven't talked about Embo, but prominent. Well, not prominent. A Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes character nonetheless. But Embo was in the trials of the bounty hunters for Dooku. I'm gonna grab some more beverage here. You guys keep talking.
So she agrees to take the job. They gotta go to this planet and just nice, simple mission: escort this cargo. It's basically a large treasure chest. Just get it from point A to point B. There's a train, all expense paid. We'll pay you a lot of money once it gets there. Just make sure the rebels don't take this cargo. So they fight off the rebels, and they're basically like kind of like ninjas. Right? Like that's the way I remember them.
Yeah.
And they're just riding along on these earthworms, and it's a crazy fight, and just slowly you see the bounty hunters get kicked off the train or thrown off. Until eventually
I was just trying to fight one of them on like the top of the train car.
Yep. Eventually it's just the main rebel and Asajj and Boba left. And so I was just like, what's worth like the 30 people I just killed? And then he just tells her, open it and see, or something like that. So she opens it and she sees that there's a young girl inside. Well, not like a young girl, young woman.
Yeah.
And she immediately recognizes what's happening. This girl's been kidnapped for the ruler of this world, and he just wants her.
Yeah.
And clearly these two were lovebirds and didn't quite want that to happen.
Well, she's like at this point, like very lost in herself, like doesn't really know like what her place is, you know, like she doesn't really have a home now.
So now
she's trying to do this new like this new profession maybe.
Yeah.
So like I think the whole the in between her and like really Boba like gives her like some like hope for where she's going in the future.
Yeah, so she's presented with this moral dilemma first day on the job of, do I let the two lovebirds have a happy ending, or do I get a happy paycheck day?
Yeah.
At that point, it then cuts to them arriving at the station, and she's delivering the cargo, and they're like, what happened to the rest of them? And they're like, and she's just like, they're gone. I'll take the entire payment. I'm the sole survivor. And they're just like, fair enough. Here's the money. Give us the crate.
They don't care.
So she jumps on the train. She leaves. And then they open the cargo. And young Boba's inside.
Yeah.
So the lovebirds went on their merry way. And they got Boba Fett. So lesson to be learned. Always check what you're receiving before you pay the guy.
Yeah. Could be fake. Could be a preteen in a crate. Now on to the two best episodes of the season.
Oh,
Brothers and Revenge.
Yeah.
Oh my god, these episodes for me. I was talking to Brick earlier when he was like, which ones do I need to watch and which ones can I like skip? And I was like, well, you got to kind of watch all of them. But like 21
I did
and 22
end up watching all
like
of them too. By the way, I
shit.
did watch all of them. I did fast
21
forward
and
through some droid episodes when I realized nothing was going on.
Yeah.
But
right. The 21 and 22 are like might be in my top 5 of all of the Clone Wars episodes, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool
TV.
stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Savage Opress is just hulking out doing Savage Opress shit.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a bad dude.
Savage Opress. There's
There,
that one character
like
that's like
the pirate. He's like
guy named
Savage Opress.
Savage Opress.
I love the pirates because they did another one where when they find Asajj floating like in a broken ship after she's maligned by Dooku. It's like a space junker. She's like, take me to Dathomir, and he's like, why you want to go to Dathomir? Ain't nothing but witches and fog. I love the pirates are like the voice of like they're like if you told your like dad or something or your uncle about these Star Wars characters, you know, and they say, you know,
bunch of witches and fog.
Savage Opress, who the hell is that? What the hell? What kind of name is that? It's Savage Opress.
Yeah, back where I come from. But Brothers was really cool because it goes into like the darkness that Darth Maul has faced since, you know, getting slain back in the day. And it's really depressing actually seeing him like this. It's like you got a lot of pity for him in this whole like darkness and I don't know, bad situation. He's like down in the dumps more than like you could imagine.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's literally living underground on a junkyard planet.
Yeah.
You don't get much further down than that.
Well, Savage, like this episode starts with Savage being like kind of a rogue at this point. Like he doesn't really have a place or really a purpose. The only purpose he really has is from this medallion that he's wearing around his neck that was empowered by Talzin. That's guiding him towards his reuniting with his brother. And so he's just like this. He doesn't have he's no longer Dooku's apprentice, and he has no allegiance to Asajj, and the Night Sisters have been destroyed at this point. But through Talzin, he's sent on this quest to try and reunite with his brother, which he ends up doing. And yeah, like you said, Darth, you know, he finds Maul, which we all thought was dead at this point. I mean, he was cut in half by Kenobi in, you know, Attack of the Clones. or Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a crazy thing to see that he's like this spider, like half Spider-Man, like is this mechanical spider. Is it mechanical, right?
Yeah, it looks
he's
very,
got mechanical,
it looks mech.
janky spider legs.
Yeah.
They're mechanical.
Yeah.
So yeah, they reunite, and I mean, the voice acting's great. Like he's clearly lost his mind. He's been in like seclusion for a really long time. He's been through some dark shit. He's speaking to himself. It's like he's hearing voices. He's like, hunched around this fire. Very, very creepy scene. But then that leads to the next episode, which, he's craving revenge. He wants revenge against the Jedi. So Savage takes him back to our girl Talzin, who really fixes up Maul good. She gives him the old Savage Press treatment, puts him on the altar, and gives him a brand new fresh pair of legs out of some Night Sister junk.
Regular legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regular legs with like claws on them in the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. He puts in, and then she puts another, like, I don't know, 80 pounds of pure muscle back on him. And some cool arm bracer things. And
fixes his horns up because his horns were getting a little long.
Yeah.
So he trim those down a little bit.
Give him a nice
trimmed and sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, one thing I'm gonna say real quick, because I just googled it. He, at this point in time, it's been 5 or 6 years, I think.
Okay.
At minimum 4. He spent 4 years down there.
Wow.
Ooh.
How does he survive that? So, like,
I don't know.
the demons that must have been running around that man's head, and then finally Talzin like relieving him of it, and then him just thinking, I can think.
Yeah.
And Kenobi.
Talzin's awesome. Talzin has like some absurd powers. It's like she's this unkillable entity too. Like, she's not really dead. Now she's like a spirit, but it seems like the Night Sisters aren't truly dead. Which is consistent with the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes faction,
Talzin never had a body. She disappeared in the mist before Grievous could stab her, so she's alive.
Yeah,
kind of.
She's pretty sweet.
I don't know if she was even alive to begin with.
Yeah, who knows?
Because if she just did that at will.
This is this final episode's awesome because what it ends up happening is that Maul and Savage Press are now working together to destroy Obi-Wan Kenobi, which there's a creepy scene, like the way that Maul decides, like, this is how I'm going to get Obi-Wan Kenobi to show up. I'm going to kill a bunch of kids, and then I'm going to kill some more innocent people until he shows up.
Yeah.
Which is brutal, like super brutal, especially for a kid's show. Literally, I'm going to kill some kids so that this guy will show up. So Kenobi, and he's very specific in speaking to Kenobi that only he can show up. He can't come. He has to come alone. So Yoda backs him up. Mace doesn't agree, but Yoda backs Kenobi up, and he says, "Yep, you need to go by yourself. You need to finish what you started." So he goes there. He gets his ass kicked by. He doesn't realize that Savage Press is going to be there as well. They're just wrecking him, kicking his ass, throwing him all around, punching him, kicking him, doing everything they can. Short of just, like, I don't know, defecating on him. I don't know what their plans were next. Like, they were just, really fucking him up. And then Asajj actually comes to Obi-Wan's rescue because she got the bounty hunter puck, which I thought was cool. Like, the bounty hunter pucks, which now translate to the Mandalorian, which you have to think that Favreau is, this is where he kind of incubated that idea of, like, they have these pucks that have information on them for bounties. Like, that shows Asajj, like, scan the bounty when she sees that Savage is wanted as a bounty. So she ends up working with Obi-Wan, and they end up escaping from. They don't defeat them, but they end up escaping from Maul and Savage in a pretty crazy fight. That's how the season ends, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Overall, Galaxy of Heroes scale, I'm going to go, because there was such cool shit at the end, I'm going to go a low 4. No Omegas. 4. A low 4.
I'm going 5.
Wow. Okay, going 5. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think I'd have to say. I mean, again, I'm partially biased because I had the nostalgia of watching this as a kid.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna have to say like low 6, just
Oh,
because.
shit. Okay.
Like I said earlier, a lot of this was like it brought the idea of like the war and everything into our young minds. That really put it into perspective. It's just not colorful lasers being shot all over the place. Like there's consequences. There's dangers. It's not just here's the villain, here's the hero, who wins, who dies, normal stuff. It's like stuff goes on in war, and there's no, sometimes you can't see which side's the right side. Sometimes you gotta walk right down the middle and just hope you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray in this for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray. And then the Umbara arc, I love it. The Knight Brothers arc, love it. I don't know. I'm biased. I have to rate it the 6, maybe high 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's fair. We don't all have to agree. You know, that's the power. That's what's great about this world.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity. All right. That's about it.
It is. That's the end of the season.
That's the end of this. That's the end of the podcast season 2.
Woo!
Thank you guys for tuning in and showing up and chatting with us. We appreciate it.
Hit us on the Patreon, the Instagram, the Twitters.
If you want a koozie, become a Patreon subscriber.
That's right.
Or
subscribe so we can replace Brick's podcasting equipment that the cats are just enjoying.
I got to line up a bank here, man. I mean, there's really no end to their destruction capabilities. It's just I literally had to replace my hard drive because my cat decided to do a karate kick on it and knock it off the fucking desk. So who knows what can happen.
Oh no.
But
it's crazy.
Appreciate you guys listening and watching the stream. Let us know what you think about us migrating over to Twitch. If you think it's a good idea, if you disagree.
And our next episode is our 1-year anniversary, isn't it?
Oh shoot, you're right.
I think our next episode is our 1-year anniversary.
Dang. Do we go big on Twitch or do we stay on YouTube for that? I don't know. We'll have to have some thinking to do. But we're gonna try and stream some GAC too this week. Hopefully, either of us. Down. We both we may use our main accounts. May Darkett may use his alt, but trying to get some more. Use
my main account.
Try and get some more content out there. You know, maybe people find it helpful and like watching it, and you can chat with us on Twitch, and maybe we'll get a little more used to it. You know, the format and stuff. So, that's right. BFL, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your insight. Got 2 more seasons left, right? 3,
and then we got all kinds of stuff. It goes to what is season 8?
No, 7.
7? Was 7 the recent one?
Yeah, 7's the recent one. We got 3 more.
Okay,
3 more.
Cool.
Can you hang in that long, Brick?
Well, the nice thing is that the next one is a long 22 episode season, but then the next 2 are short. So I can I can make it happen.
Well, 5's long because that was like the height of the series. 6 is when Disney bought Star Wars, so they got cut off.
Yeah.
And then 7's when Filoni's like, "Come on, give me the money.
We got to do something here."
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, everybody.
Guys.
Take them out, Darkett.
Peace. Don't drink in hyperdrive and hit us up on all the things.
That's specific enough to work.
That is.
Hit us up on the things.